everybody, it's your boy Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, and it is time for the top 16 of the 13th week of the Master Circuit series. We're running low on weeks remaining, only 3 more tournaments to get your invite to our $10,000 playoff occurring on June 10th. Before that, let's close out this one. We've seen 8 tiresome rounds of TEARLAMENT gaming, but I'm happy to announce TEARLAMENT is not the only thing in Top Cut. I'm also happy to announce that I'm not the only thing in the casting booth. Folks, you know Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hi, it's Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! How's everybody doing?
Wow, very professional, just like all of what we've been doing today. Let's take a quick look over at the slide so we can see just which decks made it into Top Cut. Unsurprisingly, 13 Ishizu TEARLAMENT, the most represented, 2 Fluanderees, and 1 Exo Sister.
Pie chart's looking a little, you know.
Homogenous, you might say. There's not...
Yeah.
You might say that. You could say that. You could theoretically say something
sure.
up to that. Unfortunately, I believe that our Fluanderees gamers are also playing each other. So there will be 1 in Top Cut guaranteed. Exo Sister, the only deck that isn't given a pass to Top 8. And they are going to have to play against one of the greatest duelists still remaining in our tournament, Trishula. Trish just came off the heels of a 2nd place finish at the most recent Master Circuit series, and I know that he has got blood in his nostrils. Are you prepared to cast this game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. If I got 2nd place during one of these, I would be like, no, I was so close.
Not
I
to
must shoot
disparage his opponent, of course, but if you look at the 2 decks, Trish is playing this exceptionally clean, consistent tier list. His opponent is playing, like, 4 King of the Swamps and Gravekeeper's trap setups, and it's like, okay, well, I guess if you high roll twice, you do just win.
Yeah, no kidding, and not a good looking start here for Trish, unfortunately, because Exo Sister has won the coin flip going first, and they have open packs to get Martha. So, a really good start in terms of the Exo Sister play
but
right
you know
there.
what else is really good?
Yeah, that's a good card.
Okay. So this is kind of a weird position to be in. Yes, technically you can Ash Blossom, Sheeran, and Havness because they send cards from your deck to the graveyard, but it's not fantastic because, of course, they still retain them. Here it's important because this is the only position, very nice Kelbeck by the way, in which they would be able to activate Havness at a point where there's no monsters on the field that can pivot into powerful Exeases. Setting 3 and passing might seem pretty bad, but honestly, as Exo Sister, it's likely as good as it gets. A Vadis, removal spells, it could be Arment, could be another Pax, it could be just good stuff traps. I know this deck occasionally plays cards like Ice Dragon's Prison, for instance, that can really screw up TEARLAMENT setups. And unfortunately, the target is on your head. If your opponent's setting anything, it's going to be designed to beat exactly you.
100%. As evidenced by the pie chart we saw at the beginning of this, that's really what is only worth playing. Stuff that is really going to beat this matchup. Wow, just going for Baguska right here for the targeting protection. Actually, really smart because it looks like they're trying to get into Zeus right away.
Yes, Trishula's done this play a lot of times. I think we've actually seen him do it against Exo Sister on stream in the Swiss rounds. The fact that Baguska has targeting protection means that it's really difficult to get rid of. Here, you can choose an Exo Sister mentioned on the Exo Sister monster that you will be summoning from deck and summon them both. And then after resolution of this, you can attempt to banish a card in order to, like, screw things up. I guess we're chaining Mudora for some reason. Is there a reason for that?
I don't understand what they shuffled back.
They shuffled an Ash.
Huh. Yeah, I'm a little lost on that one, but
you know what it might be? And I hate to be like this. They're not able to activate their Vadis to banish if there's nothing in the graveyard and no targetable monsters. So by banishing the Mudora, we can ensure that they can't actually proc the effect to go into a new monster, and we can safely make our way to Zeus.
Really heads up. Wow, great stuff from Trish right there.
Trish has been playing out of his mind all day. I will admit, Tearlament does a lot of the heavy lifting for you when it comes to beating rogue strategies, but a lot of these that come to beat exactly you just have to recognize that you do have the tools to beat them, and you have to be able to deploy them. And Trish has been able to better than, I think, anyone that we have seen on camera so far. Here, we are a little vulnerable to Returnia. Thank you for the correction, chat. Not Vadis. But it won't be in such a way that we'll be able to overlay on top of the Ellis. And there it goes. Everything to the graveyard, including it was Arment and Red Reboot. We're going to normal summon Tearlament's Rhinoheart afterwards. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and this is what's really tough, honestly, for any control deck here. After Zeus resolves, taking away so many resources here, the control deck, being Exosister in this case, is now down to 1 card.
And you've got to telegraph that it might even be something like a DD Crow. That's why they summoned all those monsters. If that's the case, they get to trade for your Havness here, but you've got 3 cards in hand and 2 on field. And they're just letting it happen. They say, all right, yeah, whatever is clever.
Good news about being in Top Cut, though, is that you do get to side deck. So Exosister can ensure that they can go first, because I guess I'm jumping ahead of myself here, and I'm kind of making the call that this is
I think it's
probably the end of the game.
It's a little
here.
Jover.
Yeah.
But honestly, side decking is not always great if you are playing a rogue deck that aims to beat a top meta threat. In Tier 0 formats like this one, if you're a rogue deck, you can functionally pre-board, since you can expect that you're going to be playing Tearlament every single game. But if you're a deck like Tearlament that's prepared for the mirror, you've got a lot of stuff you get to take out. Cards like DD Crow are a lot less powerful against decks like this, and you get to bring in a lot of the automatic win floodgates, a lot of the cards that kept these decks out of the format in previous formats, and you get to wield them super effectively. And I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing out of the board. Not a position you want to be in as the anti-meta strategy losing game 1.
Right, for sure. The advantage that this deck can accrue is just phenomenal.
I'm glad we're still in it. Like, we're still like, well, you know, it could happen. What are we even targeting with Crow? Does anything in here have a graveyard effect? You're just sending it so that we can make a Mud Dragon.
Mud Dragon. Yeah, I don't even know if that has a graveyard effect.
No.
Yeah, no. We're just getting it engraved. Specifically, just throwing it in there for the purpose of the Mud Dragon. I guess that makes sense.
So, resolving backwards here, we are going to be able to make Kaleido Heart. Then afterwards, we can resolve into a Mud Dragon. You know, theoretically, we hit Kitkalos. But here, I think, you know, a Redoer, a Kaleido Heart, and a Kitkalos with Celiac backup is going to be way more than enough.
Very interesting that the Exosister player has not elected to scoop yet.
No time in Top Cut. No reason
Oh, there isn't any time in Top Cut? Okay.
No.
All right, well.
We're even doing the
Never
Yoinky
mind.
Splinky. Says, you know what, I want to see what's going on. This is actually maybe a position where if you're the Exosister player, it's worth scooping. Because if Trishula is able to hit cards like this one exactly, Agido, he can mill 5 additional cards and see your main deck. Like, get a good understanding of what you're playing. Already we know the Red Reboot, but getting to know additional stuff that, like, might be lurking within the main he needs to worry about is really strong.
Yeah, that information is pitiful here. Or not pitiful, pivotal. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Because especially if you're going into board. Like now I see that there's a cross-out designator, right? And
yeah, we see the crossy, we see the talents. Yeah. It is really, you know what it reminds me of? Not to be a Magic nerd all the time, but back in the day, Mono Blue Tron had the capacity to look at your opponent's sideboard after you Mindslaver them. And it feels kind of similar that you need to just be like, no, I'm scooping. Please do not take this information.
Yes, do not look at my cards.
Now that he's got it, we are going into game 2. So let me just check the side decks real quick. Okay, well, I will tell you right now, certainly Trishula has some stuff he will be siding, but it looks like most of the side deck is actually constructed to beat Fluon de Reese, which is not surprising. That's the deck that seems to be the most capable at beating tier. Main deck for the mirror and side for everything else. Significant amount of cards could come out for some of this stuff. And in terms of Onigurli's deck, also has a significant amount of sideboard options for TEARLAMENT in particular. This is wow. This is interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Because, you look at... We saw Red Reboot, especially in the main deck of the Exosister list. And it seems... I guess if your deck is... Like, if your main strategy is constructed to beat tier, then the philosophy there could be like, well, my main deck is there to beat tier, and then my generic options can be to beat the stuff that I lose to.
I think that's true if you believe in the strength of your engine.
Exactly.
But, man, tier has just such a comprehensive game plan. I would feel like even my non-engine has to be, like, tier specific. You look at a deck like Fluandereeze, they're playing, like, main deck dimensional barrier,
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing what they have to.
Interesting deck building philosophy happening there, but...
Chad goes, I was promised Crystal Beast had a decent matchup against tier. Where is Neshi? He wasn't as decent as he thought. That's what I'll say. Neshi, I think, went 2-3 and dropped. Ooh, I just realized we have a top 100 player from the March Duelist Cup in our tournament.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, maybe we'll look at them next.
Yep.
Just waiting on onboarding now. If you are Trish, I mean, you probably have this matchup mapped out. Honestly, if you are Onigurli, you also probably have this matchup mapped out. Just a matter of taking the cards out and putting them back in.
Yep.
And it looks like the pair of them are ready now. We're going to wait for the coin flip, of course. Despite the fact that the coin flip does happen, the loser of game 1 does get to pick if they go first or second in game 2.
My assumption is that Exosister will be choosing to go first here, which I didn't see the side decks like you did, but I'm assuming there's going to be some amount of like Lightning Storm in here. Siding in this format, because it is so... the format is so very solved, your sideboard options probably just either tunnel you harder into beating the matchup that you know you're going to play against, just trying to go first or second, or I don't know, you really wouldn't plan for Rogue in a format like this, I don't think. So, interesting to see what options are picked here by both players.
Prospy's a good one, and probably will reveal a lot of those boarded cards. Arment, Martha, Sophia, Crossy, Ellis, Ash. Or not, or we'll just find Engine. Martha here, I imagine, is the pick if we don't have it already. If it is, I don't know, Ash?
Interesting that we're still on Crossout. I guess you really want Martha to resolve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Crossout does negate Maxi. Speaking of negating Maxi, we're adding Ash to hand. It does kind of double duty as like a way to beat the Maxi minigame and also a way to potentially interrupt a turn 1 Havness. Not surprising. Unfortunately, Trishula is really well versed in Exosister. If you're familiar with his Twitch stream at all, he does consistent runs to Diamond 1. And Exosister, I think, is his fastest. If not, it's up there.
That's always the worst, when you're playing a rogue deck and your opponent knows exactly what it does.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that was kind of the point of me playing this deck, but...
Leading Caspitel, oh boy. Okay, so Caspitel gets an Exosister monster from deck to hand here. Here we're grabbing Sophia. I imagine we have Sophia plus Ellis in that case. Sophia here gets to draw a card, or Pax. They're functionally identical.
Right.
Grabbing Irene, the Chosen Sister, for Sophia, so we do get to special summon it afterwards. Sophia gets us to draw a card, and Alice gets us to cycle, but neither of them do anything because we are under Prosby.
Right.
Regardless, just good to get those two into rotation. Usually people shave down copies of Irene, and I mean, you'd prefer to always see Ellis over everything, but you only get 3 of it, right? So you got to kind of use them sparingly.
Love packs, by the way. Very good
Great
that
card.
they gave this deck an E-Telly.
Conditional E-Telly. Returning the
Yeah.
add to hand. This allows you to Xyz summon for an Exosister and banish up to 2 cards. Speaking of banishing cards, Magnifica. This card is so incredible. I'm so glad that they gave this deck a way to consistently make it. It was just frustrating when it existed, but wasn't really manageable.
Right. It wasn't
And,
feasible to actually slap it on the board.
Let's see what we can do here. Will we see anything fun and interesting in draw phase? Nope, we've made it to main.
Nope.
Scream a good start.
Raises the ceiling on what your starting low impact plays do for sure. That's a really
Ooh,
good start.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
Okay, Rhino Heart into Scream. Chat, we got to get some Gambas. Let's go. Get it twisted. You will win. You will turn your life around. You will make it out of top 16. Chainlink 2 Magnifica here. I imagine we are trying to banish a card. We could rank up as well. Someone actually corrected me on this the other day and was like, you understand you can't use both effects because it only has 2 material, right? Chain.
Oh,
Havness.
my
I wonder if that
goodness.
feeds out the Ash Blossom. Yeah, they are going to actually do
it
that.
has to.
I wonder. I really don't actually like that. That Havness might go to the graveyard extra anyway as material for something like a Rhino Heart. And the Chained Forbidden Droplet here. Oh no, how disastrous. Here pitching a Mudora, though we could have pitched the Rhino Heart
This
into
hand,
an Imperm targeting the Rhino Heart.
oh my lord, 7 chain links.
CL7, we might not even be done. Pending what this last card is. Going back to Oni Gurley here, we are going to 8, so we are going to try the other effect of Magnifica to banish, targeting the Rhino Heart? Or
Alright,
theoretically
3
the
unknown
Scream
cards.
as well, which would prevent the Unknown Mills and lock them into the Rhino Heart play. Are we going to
unknown
CL9?
cards.
I think we might be done here. Trish has something. Could theoretically
Yeah.
move Dora here is what he's thinking, I think. Okay, both players have passed priority. We're going back. Magnifica on Chainlink 8 is going to hit the Scream. Imperm targeting the Rhino Heart does resolve. Forbidden Droplet gets to negate the Magnifica. Then at point of resolution, the Ash Blossom negates the Havness. Havness fails to resolve. Magnifica is unable to tag into another monster because it's now negated, and Rhino Heart is negated under the Imperm. Oni Gurley might have found the only sequence of chains that wins them the game here, and Trishula
Oh my
passes.
gosh.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was expertly played. We get to
That was-
retain the searched Vadis as well. Oh my goodness. This might just straight up be the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, notably, we are taking precautions not to activate anything because we know there's a Havness in hand.
100%.
That Ash Blossom might negate. It does not destroy. So we get in for a fair amount of damage. There's an argument that we just pass here.
I definitely would, unless, obviously if we draw
Yeah.
it back, or it'd set it, but... Yep.
Says, you've got 2 cards. I know they're both chainable because you kept having... No, they don't necessarily have to be because it could have been Mudora. So I know one's Havness. You need a normal. It's got to be like Rhino or Merly. And then you have to hit well. And your card has to contest the banish of the Magnifica. Wow.
Yeah, let's see another Rhino Heart here. Just slap that bad boy down.
Rhino Heart into Rhino Heart seems pretty good. Ooh, main phase max. Why are we doing that? Try and bait out the Vadis.
Oop. Oh, no. I think that might have just been like a, all right, you got it, but
no, I think they were trying to get them to activate something. So theoretically, they could maybe use like a talents. Oh, that's actually the end of the game. Wow, that's it. Yeah, and a big scooperoni out of Trish says, "All right, I've seen enough. Let's go next. Let's go next." Oh, man. You do get a sense that even in these games that Trish is losing, he's taking every precaution necessary to engineer a game state in which, despite being down like a 90-10 advantage, he theoretically could claw his way back in. We saw a couple of times in Swiss when something like that, like the Maxi chasing out the Vadis, so like you don't get draws off it in a scenario where you would theoretically want to activate it, converting into a power play. It's good. It's good seeing good players make good moves. I like it.
Right.
But in that position, that 8 chain link really costing him the entire thing.
Yeah, that was actually... I wanted to snag a screenshot of that. I was thinking about it and like putting it next to the picture of all the cards on the table. It's just like, oh, it's the same picture.
That would go hard on r/Master Duel Meta.
It would go hard on r/Master
That would end up in meme review for certain.
For certain. It's just too easy.
Looks like we have no reports yet. That's unbelievable. No one's finished. Everyone's playing some good ones. And now we'll just wait for them to side.
We get to see TEARLAMENT go first. That I imagine Trish is going to pick to go first. First time this match. So, I don't know. Exosister is going to have to figure out a going second game plan here into tier.
I will say, you know, Exosister's going second game plan is reasonable. You know, there's a lot of ways that you can get to an Exosister without running into the Martha lock and then pivoting into a Zeus or something. That play specifically isn't nearly as good against tier as it is against other decks because occasionally they'll plus off of Zeus. But you have that. And then, of course, you have going second staples, which you can expect to play no matter what. And you've got non-engine hand traps, turn enders like Dimension Shifter. There's a fair amount of stuff that can go on.
Dimension Shifter's at 2 in this format, correct?
It is. Isn't that weird?
So bizarre.
Honestly, just ban it. Just ban all these cards that are frustrating in best of 1.
I agree.
I'm barking up the wrong
That's what I
tree.
call a good take.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. Did you think I was going to disagree with you?
Yeah, no. I completely
This is a mock
agree.
trial.
All right. Looks like Oni Gurley is done with the siding process. Now we're just waiting on Trish.
Yeah, Trish has a lot to think about. Like, obviously, not only do you have to prep out your game plan, you have to prep out your game plan relative to your opponent's game plan. And this is a game plan that you are less familiar with than you are the mirror, you know?
Correct. Yeah. I think if I was in this situation, I would try to guess what my opponent would be siding in for their going second game plan here. But I don't even know if there's any cards you were able to fit in that are slotted to beat that stuff.
Let's throw up a prediction. That seems like fun. As we jump into the third game, Trishula versus Oni Gurley. Who's walking? Oh, chat, while I appreciate that decklist command, it's not only outdated, it doesn't refer to this tournament, and that's because we're not going to leak the decklists of the players that are playing before they're done. Speaking of Gamba, this is one upside to playing TEARLAMENT into Rogue is you really get to get it really twisted.
Yeah.
Without having to worry about all that nonsense from previous ones. Oh, the Dimension Shifter in the graveyard. You love to see it. You don't have to worry about it. 2 DD Crows and a Martha off as well. We've got double Scream plus Mudora plus Havness plus L plus Ratio, and thankfully we have the names for Havness that we will be able to do it. Chaining the Agito in hand because our opponent had cards sent to the graveyard as well. This is exactly where you want to be. Not only do you have access to your entire linear game plan, you have access to the powerful rank 4 suite that really gives TEARLAMENT a lot of game against these rogue options.
This is the strongest deck of all time.
In what
you gotta
world
grab
are
Crime.
we grabbing Crime? Oh my goodness.
Oh.
We must be really, really confident with our abilities here. We're going to be able to go Havness and Havness, very strange open, into Kitkalos. Kitkalos, if we don't already have Merly or Rhinoheart, we'll get one of those. If not, it'll probably get a Celiac. And down comes the Infinite Impermanence. Okay, that said, like, Crime Celiac Pass is still really good. But the 4 engine opens up even more opportunities here. Theoretically, we could go Trident. It just depends on what Trishula wants to do.
Grabbing the Crime, I think, was actually very important here. Like I mentioned during the side decking, you know, you got to play around what your opponent's side deck game plan is going to be. And with Exosister, somewhat low impact of a deck going second, you assume the side deck cards are slotted in to boost their card economy game plan going second. Stuff like Lightning Storm, I don't know, maybe evenly matched. And you really just want to grab Crime to be able to stop one of those if those are drawn. So I think grabbing Crime was definitely the right idea here. Wow, Trident.
Cards like
popping
Celiac are like really
Kitkalos.
powerful against it too, even if it's going second. And we did see Red reboot game 1. It's not inconceivable that they keep it in.
That is true.
Speaking of evenly matched, there's one right there.
Yep.
And
Wow.
this is a big problem for Exosister. You can see we have 1 Ellis in the graveyard, but these decks play a really low count of girls. And after you get like 4 or 5 of them in the grave, it's not even consistent that you're able to find the 2 promised ones, right? So here we've hit Heartbeat with no targets, Grief with no targets, and Rhinoheart. See if we can get something going here.
Rhinoheart was the normal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All that. And
It
we
was
still haven't normaled it.
Keldo special, Agido special, Havness for Kitkalos.
That's wild. This is the strongest deck in the history of the game.
It really is.
Yeah.
Merly here, kind of strange. We can go Rukalos, or if we want, we could theoretically go for Kaleidoheart, but I think we probably want to retain the 4, and I don't know. We could maybe end on like a Redoer, or God forbid a Baguska or something.
I feel like Redoer would be the pick here. Because if your assumption is that they're playing board breakers, right? Like your assumption is that, you're grabbing Crime for the board breakers too.
Mm-hmm.
The goal would be to summon the Redoer, because the Redoer is the stuff that's going to keep you in card advantage if they do have something like a Lightning Storm or an Evenly. Because you can just
They
get
are
the
actually
Redoer
just
out
going
of it.
for Kaleidoheart here. Wow.
Wow. I guess don't you need a tier name on board for Crime? If I remember
You do need a
correctly?
tier name on board for Crime. You would go Rukalos here and then overlay those 2 for... That's the argument for Baguska, is that all of the relevant stuff resolves in the graveyard. But even so, I mean, this is just a fantastic end board. Provided that card in hand is a tier name, we can even pivot into Rukalos afterwards as well. Or we
I also
could have
wanna
if we
point
kept
out-
Kitkalos.
I love the decision to play Trident. That
It's
is
so
so
good.
creative. I don't know if that's standard now, but
Yeah.
that is incredibly smart.
The first week that Tears were out when Jesse Cotton won the MCS, he was playing it, and the first time I saw it, I went, oh yeah, of course. Like, it allows you to proc your own monsters in a pinch. It allows you to contest your opponent's normal summon in a world where they're trying to run over one of your monsters using the battle phase, something like a Sprite Elf, in order to prevent, like, an effective use of Merly. It just does everything.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it there, but
Outs floodgates.
it's brilliant in the sense that your thing that's going to get impermed is the Kitkalos. So you just continue to play and make Trident, and that pops your Kitkalos to proc it. I'm like blown away by that. That is incredible. That is incredibly smart.
Trident good. Keck W.
Well,
Ooh, this is interesting. What are we doing here? Going Trident, target Kaleidoheart. When Kaleidoheart is sent, you can send a tier to the graveyard. So we can special back the Kaleidoheart, send a tier we don't care about, and then what?
send Rhino, maybe? No.
Oh,
it
we
sends
need a name
card.
for Crime. Oh, so we're using Celiac here to get the Crime name. Oh, that's cute.
Oh.
That is so adorable.
All right, I'm guessing evenly matched. Which gets cracked.
Certainly that is what we are playing around.
No.
Oh, we are going Stella. Kind of a weird open, but you really don't have to lead Martha. I mean, this is as good as it gets. You get to Sophia here to draw a card.
I would assume we don't Trident here?
Turn off. Well, we've already Tridented, right?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
So this does turn off evenly, which means that you're probably safe to use the crime on the effect of the Machias. The downside of this is there is a non-zero possibility that the Machias is just bait, and you also have evenly matched.
That's what I'm thinking.
And something like evenly matched plus Martha just literally wins the game from this position. We are going to run it.
This gets crimed, and then we wait for the evenly. Now, the issue is that there's still a Havness in hand.
Yeah, so
unless the Havness is the name that gets sent. Okay, yeah, okay.
So even if we evenly Martha from this position, our board contests it, because we're going to banish down to a Rukalos, right?
Right.
Oh.
Okay, so I guess there's no evenly, but
oh
Martha
my God,
is pretty good here.
We don't have a second name for the Havness.
Oh.
What? Could we not have used the Kaleido Heart? It can't be used as fusion material, right? Oh no! There was no way to get the Kid into Rook from that position, freeing up the activation of the Martha, which gets Ellis, Pax, Sophia. Oh no! Oh, this started out so promising, but fear of the evenly matched, attempting to play around those board breakers, has left us very vulnerable to Martha into Michaelis, and we didn't get to resolve these effects.
Wow. I gotta say, though,
no.
great
banishing
play
a
from the
card from the graveyard. Uh-oh. Has something moved?
Martha doesn't like that.
For some reason, they decided that the stipulation on the rest of the Exosisters, that it has to be your opponent's card effect, they were like, no, we'll give them one good one. Martha, if anything moves anytime, get on top of that. We're going to go into a Sophiel here. A Sophiel locks the graveyards for the rest of the turn, and what do you know? It also can detach to target a monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Can you think of one we might want to get out of here?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wow. We get to go into Magnifica, eat the entire board here. It'd have to be Rhino Heart or Bust from this position.
That is just... I'm honestly astounded that Exorcist played through this.
Yeah. No, and I mean, Trishula firing the Trident in draw phase to turn on the crime, it makes you think that, like, maybe he almost played too much around these board breakers and too little with respect to what Exosister can do with their own linear game plan. I mean, this on its own solos a significant amount of tier hands, and now you have to contest it plus back row.
Ooh, okay. What can Tearlament do with 2 cards against the Magnifica? Let's see, Perla Rhino?
Perla Rhino would be great. It would just trade for the Magnifica banish. Perla Rhino plus Rhino Heart. That's the play.
Yep. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, that's Rhino Heart. We just misclicked and clicked set.
Yep. Oh, wow. I am astounded that this game swung in the direction that it did.
Exosister is one of the swingiest decks of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta say, if they had evenly, that's a justifiable play. Well, they didn't. Their hand, now that we can see the entirety of their hand, it's all monsters. It was literally 3 to 4 monsters, 4 after the Sophia draw. I mean, look at this. We've opened what appears to be double of the worst Exosister in Stella. That's a lie. Irene is probably worse.
Yeah. No interruption, no interaction from Trisha.
Probably
here.
just we're grabbing a spell trap, but the other thing we could do is just win.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a scoop out of Trish, and Exo Sister moves on to top 8. One copy in top 16 has made it to the quarter-final round. Oni Gurley will advance, and chat will take a fat payout. 25% of you believed Exo Sister was walking with that. Ooh,
yeah.
the reward. Hey everybody, it is time for top 8 of the 13th week of the Master Circuit Series. Just a couple more weeks until we reach our $10,000 playoff, but before we get there, we have a couple more rounds of this week's to endure. Peeps, are you here?
I am here, and I am ready. We saw some really heads-up play last round from both players, so I'm excited. People have been cooking with this format, and it's showing right now, so I'm excited to see the rest of this top cut.
Well, of the top cut, as you can expect, there's a lot of TEARLAMENT. There's at least one Exo Sister and at least one Fluon de Rees player. That we were about to watch. But I think they just entered game 2.
Nice.
All right, okay, that's not actually true. I think there was just a little bit of a bug on their end. So we are going to immediately jump into the first game of Hexlex on TEARLAMENT versus Suzumu on Fluon de Rees.
Heck yeah.
Now,
Give me the birds.
Flu just had to do maybe the most frustrating thing of all time, which is the mirror. But one of them did persevere, so we do have a Flu in top 8. Opening Eaglin pretty good. We just need any other name, and that's full combo. Oh, speaking of fun stuff that's interesting and fun to play around and with. Huh!
What? Huh? Wait, why even? Hold on.
No, I invite you to guess why even.
I swear to goodness, I'm actually surprised. Not surprised. I'm actually confused. I do not know this line of play.
Give it a sec.
Okay, I'm thinking. Let me see. But it can't be Featherstorm.
I don't think it's Featherstorm.
Okay. Ooh. I get to... me, as a commentator, gets to figure out what the heck this is.
All right, I'll just spoil it for you. The set card is Dreaming Town. If we Dreaming Town and then normal summon Eaglin, then we can still do the entire combo because we have a monster on our summon field.
Okay, I get it now. Took me a second. Well, it would have taken me, like, I wouldn't have gotten it. I'll be honest. I've never played Flu. Yep.
So this does a couple of things.
Nice one, Joe.
Home run, Joe. It obviously gets us to Fluon de Rees and M-Pen, which is incredibly powerful. Allows us to set up for future turns because we can use the banish effect of Eaglin, add it back to the hand, then add a map off of this M-Pen. Gets us access to Robina and therefore our entire line. But importantly, TEARLAMENT's best play into something like a Dimensional Fissure is to go for Dryadent or Baguska. And here we are able to trigger the effect of the Fluon de Rees in the Dreaming Town to book the entire field and say good luck to our opponent.
Yeah, this seems really good.
Yeah, they're going to need 2 more ways to get a 4 on field, and they've used their normal. So, like, Keldo plus Mudora on 3 cards seems unlikely.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, that seems a little more likely.
Also, that D-Fissure is just owning this game right now.
Yeah. Like, ideally what you want to be able to do is, like, go into a Dryadent in order to trade for the D-Fissure so you can start playing, or go into a Baguska because Flu has a bit of a hard time outing that card. Here, you know, we're just chilling.
Yeah.
Chat says, can't believe this worked out. I will say probably the number one thing that you should fear is when your Fluon de Rees opponent makes a play that doesn't make sense. Like, when they do something that you can't intuit what they're up to, you gotta be like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm about to get sauced.
Yeah, and also, chat, you gotta realize, in a tournament setting, sometimes if you know a way to take an extremely low impact hand and turn it into something, you just got to do that. And a lot of the times that will just win you the game. The amount of games, let alone tournaments, I've won from normal summon Ancient Gearbox, Set Machina Overdrive Pass, you got to put faith in the bad hands at times.
Sometimes it works. Like, what if your opponent also has a bad hand, right?
Exactly. Like, you just got to play it out, especially if it's game one. Might as well try it. If it works, it works. And clearly, as we're seeing in this game, it has worked.
Yeah, this is even a loop of the trap here because, of course, we banished it. We're able to add it back with Toucan if we want, which we're going to do. When our opponent goes to do something, we can use Flu Under using the Unexplored Winds as the target for Toucan the second time, which means on the crackback to the crackback, we'll be able to start eating any sort of continuous trap that maybe contests our board. I mean, this is pretty over.
Yeah, I would say so. Also, Toucan, wow.
Toucan's incredible.
Such a good card.
I've been saying this for a long time, but secretly the best card in this deck is Toucan. And now that we are free from the incredible nonsense that is Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, playing this deck really showcases just how broken that card specifically can be.
Would you play more than one of it?
Toucan? I played 2 Toucan.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Hey.
I love it.
I'm
well, I also played Jack in the Hand because I'm very stupid. And, like, you don't want to get into a scenario where, like, Jack in the Hand could banish your Toucan. If Jack in the Hand banishes your Stree, or, like, gets your Stree into a position where you can never get it, that's fine. Toucan? Oh, no, you need that. Bada bing.
Yeah. Nice.
And normal summon DD Crow clears. Pretty easy game one.
I love seeing when hands like that can still produce some sort of winning game state. That is, like, to me, functionally, it might not be the Yu-Gi-Oh experience, but it's the tournament experience.
Yeah, for sure.
How do I take this hand that should lose me the game and turn it into something that has a chance to win me the game? Great stuff.
There are a lot of times you're in a tournament specifically, and, like, you open a hand that contains a play that would not win you a ladder game on Master Duel, and you're like, this is going to do it, I think. And it does. Like, sometimes box set Machina Overdrive is sufficient.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They're jumping into game 2 here. The pair of them boarding. The Flu player has already done boarding. Not surprising. Their sideboard is pretty targeted for this format, we'll say. Whereas Hexalex's board has material to deal with this, but again is a little more general, more geared toward, like, going first and going second rather than individual matchups. So we'll see how much it matters. Out of the board, the thing that always baffles me about Tier is the immense amount of floodgates they are legally allowed to play in this format. Like, did you know Macrocosmos is at 3?
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Very fun stuff.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really hard for Tier to play because that was Flu going first. They won that coin flip. So now, if I'm playing a control deck like Tier, or I'm playing against the best deck in the format, and they have chosen to go first, I'm just kind of assuming that this one's a bit of a wash. But when we get to game 3, oh yeah, that's going to get rough for Tier.
Yeah, it is kind of weird playing decks like Flu because you are expected to a degree to pick up game 1s. And then things get really fun once the board comes into play.
But we did see in that last match, we saw Exosister lose game 1 and then come back with game 2 and game 3. So, is this the Exo and Flu sweep? Is Tier gonna miss out on this coveted first place spot? I don't know.
I will say, it would be really funny if Flu won Tier format MCS. That would be comedic. Flu v Exo final. That is a 100% Flu victory. It's not close.
All right, moving on into game 2 here. I have a strong suspicion that we're going to see TEARLAMENT be going first. No reason to take the chance that the Flu player is not playing D-Fissure anymore. Ooh, Rhoda for Rhinoheart. Pretty good. Seeing Rhoda, I guess people are in this sort of maybe the ladder environment or just this tournament experience, they want to just up the amount of names. Previously, there was a justification for playing less Rhinoheart, but they really, really want to see that to start off their turn. And Rhinoheart Scream, exceptional start to a turn. And I think we just saw a Kelbeck being milled too. As you mentioned in the last match, because Kelbeck, because you know your opponent is not in the mirror with you, that Kelbeck just gets to go off, and you get to go as strong as you want to with this turn. So let's see how this chain is going to resolve here. Sending Havness.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And the additional problem when you're playing Kelbeck and Agito versus Fluandrees is, as we've mentioned several times over the course of this, they are on a very low count of big boys. We watched a Swiss match in which a Kelbeck or an Agito or whatever milled Apex Avion and Ryza, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, well now the tenor of the game completely changes because it's almost impossible to access those cards once they are out of circulation. And so a really lucky Kelbeck or something can really limit the amount of tools that that Fluandrees has at their disposal. Here, the Toucan is a little bit of a surprising hit. If we're only on one of that card, then we have to figure out a way to get it back into rotation, probably with a Stree or something. But going for that puts you at risk of getting owned by the Shufflers.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I know that Fluandrees is so easy and stuff like that, but there really is a lot of meat specifically to this particular matchup.
I would imagine you would up the names of the big birds specifically for this interaction. But then again, you want to make your deck as consistent as possible too.
Yeah,
and
the
if there's a
big
deck
birds
that has the
aren't
capacity
great.
to brick,
Like, what do you want to draw 2 Apex Avion? I think that really 5 is as many as I would feel comfortable playing.
yeah.
Oh, Shockmaster would go crazy here for sure, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thank God it's not in the format. I will say that.
Yeah.
I have played with that card, and yeah, the games where Shockmaster hit the board, it was incredibly unfun. So hopefully I'll never have to deal with that card ever again.
Ideally.
Ideally. So if you're the Tearlament player, and you know you're playing against Flu, and you're playing against Flu going first into game 2, do you still go for Baguska?
I mean, I would go for Baguska. I feel like Baguska is so good against this deck. They have to draw, like, Book of Moon. That's it.
Thing is, would they even be on it in this format? I mean, probably,
Book?
right? But it, yeah.
Yeah, they're on Book.
Oh, I'll be darned. All right. Really in the tank on this decision here.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, Tearlament plays itself to a Dragus Tapelia, correct here, to a degree, but Fluandrees is a deck that just plays on a completely different axis than any other deck. And, like, as we saw in Swiss, doing the, like, okay, Rukalos into Abyss Dweller type shenanigans that you can easily, like, put on your blinders and get used to making, loses you the game a lot of the time. And so, you know, here, maybe you're meant to go, like, Dryden to contest the map. Maybe you go, like, Baguska. I do like the Celiac here. Celiac very strong against this deck. Without Kitkalos on field, we probably are trying to end on, like, Dryden and then Celiac Rhinoheart, just, like, as guys.
Also, I'm realizing that Book of Moon would be really good against the Celiac, too. Yeah, Book of Moon does seem pretty good here.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you have to think, what are the choke points in this deck? And they are the first normal summon and the map summon, right? And so the map summon you can contest with Trident because you can pop the map that way. The normal summon you can contest with both Dragostapelia and Celiac, and it's important for you to have two because then if they open Advent of Adventure, they can blank one of them, but they can't blank them both. So yeah, you need to just be like, what are the choke points in birds? It's the normal summon, the map summon, and then like Advent can complicate things, and then you need to play accordingly. This I really don't like. Time Thief Redoer does not do a damn thing to this deck. And we can easily get into a position where like we don't have access to a tier for Celiac, and suddenly an Advent does clear our entire field because they only have to force through the one activation.
Maybe they're making the Redoer as a response to like the generics, you know, like evenly. They
in
can
games
get rid
2
of
and 3,
Redoer.
Redoer is a lot better than it is in game 1, but theoretically here we can use Redoer as a way to get like Rukalos onto the field as like our Celiac target.
The only thing that not the only thing. One thing that's confusing me here is it seems like they can't go for Baguska here because they've committed to the Redoer.
No, yeah, we're not ending on Baguska at this point. We're trying to end on like Trident, Redoer, Dragostapelia, Rhinoheart as our Celiac target. Yeah, which I think is fine, but I really would have liked to have seen like a way to contest a possible Advent normal. Like, what would be good here is what if we Trident popping Scream and then grab Crime? If this card in hand is our monster, then we're always being able to contest it because you can't Advent in response to a Crime negation. Of course, Redoer goes absolutely brazy if we find a trap here. Okay.
Ooh, got a spell. It's not the best, but it's not terrible either. It's actually and a strong start here. Duality is going to be really good.
We are looking for evenly. Looks like we haven't weaved Crime in. Oh, those are three stinkers.
Wow.
Holy guacamole.
Those are some stinkers. Woof. I guess you could just get the Ryza to... Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's okay. It means that your Eaglin doesn't necessarily have to resolve. So, chat saying only evenly clears. I think Engine beats this board, provided you have access to map, which apparently we do. So we go map activation, reveal Robina. They go Trident in response to map. You normal Robina. They go Dragostapelia. If you have Advent, you actually do win from this position.
Yeah.
Oh, provided you have a way to deal with Celiac, right?
So we need map Advent book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Or Forbidden Chalice.
Yeah, Chalice would go brazy.
Yeah. Dree, okay.
We don't have a shuffler.
Get rid of the snow.
Oh, that's really rough. Banishing Robina here means that if the Stree resolves, we do have access to Robina. So
yeah,
this is rough. They go Dragostapelia here, right? Targeting the Stree. If we have Advent, we banish in response, but then the normal we conduct afterwards, is going to be able to get us access to Robina. Since the banish is for cost, we can't chain Celiac here either. And now we are just one book away from literally winning the game.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This Flu player is... They really have the whole thing written out in front of them.
Yep.
There's Eaglin.
Interesting.
Well, the only other potential target is Toucan, and we don't know if we missed all the Toucan. And the Shufflers after the Stree resolves, just a little too late. All right, here we go. Eaglin 1, Robina 2. This is going to fiend the Celiac, I imagine. Just a question of if we've got the book.
Yeah, if the Book of Moon is here, it's... Can't imagine what... Maybe Droplet? No. Well...
Droplet doesn't do it because you can't send this card to the graveyard.
Yep.
No, if it's going to resolve, then we actually do just straight up lose here.
Yep. I think that's it.
Yeah, unless we have double summon. That's it.
Yeah.
And the The Flu player says, I gave you enough rope to see if you would off yourself, but we did not beat that. That's unfortunate,
Yep.
but you know, they executed it extremely well. Both players, you know, Hexalex being like, okay, the map, the 2 normals, they put up something that can test the map and 2 negations, right? The only thing that could theoretically have changed the math is a card that prevents targeted interaction, which of course, you know, we didn't have. Or like maybe a Cosmic or something.
Oh, Cosmic would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it, you know, it's a rough call to be like bored into Cosmic versus Tearlament, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, you know,
importing this for Sully.
given what we actually knew about the contents of the Tearlament player's hand, I really would have liked to have seen a crime weaved into that combo. It seemed like we kind of had everything anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens in Game 3 for sure. Game 3 is going to be way different because, of course, the initiative is on the Tearlament or the Fluonder East player's side. They're going to be the individual who's capable of like putting up these undefeatable floodgates, and let me tell you, they've got some really good ones.
I want to see a Heartbeat. I want
Yeah.
to see Heartbeat getting played here. The first time I got hit with Heartbeat ever, I looked at that card and I went, "Is this card real?"
They really printed. That's how I felt about Grief. When I read Grief, I was like, this got printed, and everyone was like, yeah, it's kind of mid. I'm getting some feedback after a host from Nesh. First of all, thank you, Nesh. Getting some feedback that Gold Pride sucks. Quit being haters. It's a fine deck. You know, I would say it's Monodium level.
I'm just gonna perfect my list, and then the haters will see. But anyway,
You're
we're
gonna
not gonna
perfect
talk
your
about Sayak here.
ban list is what you're gonna perfect. You're gonna send it to Mommy Konami and be like, hey, can you please get this out of the format?
Look, I can save this game. Only I can fix.
But only I can do it.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're chilling. Just waiting for Hexalex to board here, and makes sense, you know, if you are the Fluonder East player, you're super prepared for this matchup, you know exactly what you're boarding into, you know what you can take out. If you're Hexalex, you're like, oh god, what is this person gonna board into? And you have to decide how much you want to commit to things that beat their powerful non-engine going first. And you know, it's not a nothing decision either. Back in the day, it was very easy to be like, oh, you know, I can take out X amount of stuff and bring in X amount of stuff. But now the margins on tier in Master Duel are pretty low. Like, this deck can brick, and you really don't want to dilute your potential to find your combo in order to play like Twin Twister or something. So there is some thought going into it. We'll see what manifests in Game 3.
I want to see Macrocosmos. You know?
I want to see Macrocosmos too. You said it, not me.
Oh, yes! This is a game right here. Yeah! Yes! D. Fissure Rabida!
I love being alive.
Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah. Nothing beats this. Good old M-Pen. Nothing beats that.
Poor, predictable Fluonder East.
And I think with this board, nothing does beat that.
Well, there's this card in the format called Evenly Matched, but the thing about Evenly Matched in this position is you just banish down to the Dreaming Town and you go, okay, keep playing.
Yep. No, you banish down to the D-Fissure. What are you talking about?
So, first things first, we have to out the D-Fissure, so we're looking for Heartbeat. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Oh, no!
Oh, here it is!
Yup.
Well,
Lancia. We did banish down to Fissure!
that's what I'm saying, baby!
Okay, well now we gotta hope they can't make Trident.
Yeah, that's the one thing we gotta watch out for.
Well, it seems pretty likely they just need any 4 and Sheeran. Ooh,
No.
Can you summon Keldo under
Uh-oh.
D-Fissure? Oh, well,
No!
look, any 4 and Sheeran. Who could have expected?
No! Not the D fissure. No, this. You know what? I have faith. This is fine. Blue gets to
Well-
come back from this like crazy.
We've got 4 cards in hand. We have full combo.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
They
what
have to
I'm
spend-
saying.
No,
Google,
that's-
show me this guy's
They gotta
dimensional
spend-
fissure.
They got to spend all these resources to hit this 1D fissure.
Why didn't they Dreaming Town before battle phase? Good question. Theoretically, they could have gotten a negate, but they elected not to. I think kind of hoping it was a bait.
Oh, look at
You
this.
almost always boarded games against Flu, threaten the evenly matched, because you're not going to accomplish anything with the battle phase anyway. I don't know. This is kind of nothing.
Yeah. I think.
Oh,
just a
back
good
to
one.
back extra.
That's. Oh my gosh. Wait.
Why would we do that?
Oh, was that the only card engrave? We got to get Stree online? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I imagine that's it.
What?
We could just target one of theirs.
Yeah, we get to start. Why did we. What? Hold on. Why would you do that?
It's okay. Ready? I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
You can't activate it after extract because you can't draw for the rest of the turn. So if we ever want to activate it, we have to activate it then. Now, what happens now that it's resolved? Nothing. But
Yeah, you know what? They just didn't want to see the prompts anymore. There you
that's
go.
true.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's why. I figured it out. They just didn't want to be annoyed by the Max C prompts.
Obviously,
now,
this
this
is getting
Trident
dragged.
does kind of go a little nutty here on this map. But there's still 4 in hand. So...
if the set card is an imperm, we're still in it.
all right. Now let's see an Imperm, and then let's see Chain Advent.
Yeah. I can feel the advent in the Flu player's hand, by the way. Like, not to be like, I've played this deck so much, I just have developed a sense that allows me to determine this kind of thing, but there is an advent in Suzuma's hand. Like, I can just feel it. I'm sorry. Like, it just is there.
Crow. The crow is real.
It's a Celiac bluff. It's not a bluff. You can't do Celiac with no tears on your side of the field. Like, you can flip it up. It's not going to do anything.
Trident's already been used. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I like to see, baby. They're not going to get Advent here because they already have it. So it's a little sussy here because we don't have access to a normal summon on our opponent's turn. We've used the 1 map. Our Dreaming Town is set face down. We might be on 2. No, yeah, we're getting Advent here. Wow, we're going to Advent on both our turn and our opponent's turn because we already have one. Okay, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be.
I can't believe I found myself in a position where I'm rooting for Fluanderies. But I am definitely rooting for Fluanderies.
Set 2. I hope that's not 2 Advent because, of course, they drew the Advent already.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done with this.
Shut up!
All right, let's see what we got. So, no Di-Fi.
It's macro.
Oh, God, if it's macro, that's the end of the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it could also be nothing.
It could be nothing from the tier player.
We're just rolling it again.
So
God, the
strong.
advantage this puts up just turn after turn after turn. It's just unbelievable.
So good. I'm going to start playing this deck.
And at this point, I mean, what do you even do? Like, if you've got an Ash Blossom, you probably hold it for the E-Glen. Doesn't even accomplish anything anymore because the E-Glen, while usually the choke point, is no longer because we have access to Advent. We could just banish it to get the M-Pen and summon it that way. Oh, man.
Yeah, once the ball is rolling with Flu,
I would say
one for ones do nothing.
Flu is one of the most when the ball gets rolling style decks. It's like,
Yeah.
after turn 3, this thing has like 19 cards in hand. It's summoning 45 times a turn.
Yeah.
it pretty much always pops off in a very predictable way. Uh-oh. Vanishing map here means that we're going to be able to use Toucan to add it back.
Oh my gosh. This deck does everything. No, it doesn't. But it's very good.
Me, when the deck does one thing, the deck does everything, man.
Everything. So we're
I
probably
hope more Flu players play
for...
second Dreaming Town. It's so clutch. I like it. Wow, it's even worse than Ash Blossom. It's Effect Veiler. That is the most advented a person is about to ever have been gotten. They have Ash here. Even that isn't good. Because the Eaglin still resolves, and they'll still be able to normal, which is the part you care about. God. I like the double Dreaming Town because, chat, I don't know if you know this, M-Pen and Dreaming Town are not once per turn. So you can Dreaming Town and then later in the turn be like, and now Dreaming Town.
The perseverance that this tier player is undergoing right now.
Maybe the set card is like, what's the new trap that's 10 activations? Kill number?
Oh.
Kiribana?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're not playing around anymore. Get back in the deck.
Yep.
And you know what? You can have a Maxi, too. Got one of those? Oh, no. They're giving themselves back Di-Fi. Oh, we're not even doing lethal here. That's crazy.
No point. Might as well just seal the game with the Ryza effect.
And you're going to be drawing the top deck again. This is weird that we're not even activating the map here. I'm like going for another summon chain. Have we used everyone? I guess we probably have. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow. I gotta say, Suzumu really played those exceptionally well, even the games that they lost. Hexlex played very well as well. Love to see good players playing good games.
Yeah. Yep. This has been good so far. Like I was saying, people have been really brushing up their play, you know, really learning this format.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, back with the top 4 semi-final round of the 13th week of the Master Circuit Series. Only a few more weeks before we go to our $10,000 top cut, and only a few more rounds before we crown our champion for the week. I am joined once again by Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Peeps, how are you doing?
Oh, phenomenal. I'm doing just great.
I'm glad to hear
really
that.
Really good stuff we've seen.
Yeah, and I'm also glad to hear that we've been very cogent, normal, understandable pretty much the entire time, right?
100%. Yeah. The stuff that's not on YouTube is just as normal as the rest of what you've heard during this top cut.
In fact, I'd probably say it's even more normal, right?
100%.
You get really
yeah,
deep into the differences between the decks. And we're going to have a lot to get into this time because though we are watching a Tearlament mirror, we have 3 Tearlament decks and 1 Fluandaree's deck remaining in Top Cut. They are radically different decks. If you were watching right before this, you know that the winner of the previous Tearlament mirror is on Tearlament Branded. That includes not only incredibly powerful cards like the Tearlaments we all know and love, Pellerino, all the names, Rhino Heart, Kaleido Heart, but also Branded Fusion. We've seen Lubellion summon Kid Kolos, which is hilarious.
Yeah, really funny that it can do that. I'm not going to lie. I've never played against Branded Tier. Pretty much when I played against Tier, people started to move away from that. So I have not seen that interaction before today. Hilarious that it can do that. And quite good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they are capable of winning this mirror. Lizard is, of course, really good. And importantly, cards like Branded Fusion stop your ability to play a lot of the cards that are really powerful in the mirror. Things like, and we've seen this all day, the one, the only, Abyss Dweller.
Yeah, that's a card that is in the game right now.
Very
that's what
true.
I have to say about Abyss Dweller.
Speaking of being in the game, let's go to the game. So -1 appears to have won the die roll. That means we might see something like a Branded Fusion.
Now, I am not privy to the information of the deck lists that are in this tournament. So if you could inform me, how many people are playing Ashe in this format right now?
It's not a small amount. It's a lot. Obviously it's not fantastic against TEARLAMENT, and notably during this format, people were shaving Ashe from their lists. It is a little different in Master Duel, where there's this card called Max C.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you can trade for that.
Yeah, Maxi is a big incentive to play Ashe in this format. Maxi does homogenize a lot of deck building, and having to play Ashe is for the Maxi is that does force its inclusion in a lot of deck lists.
All right, the pair of them just waiting on this TEARLAMENT Scream, potentially deciding on a normal. And Branded Fusion coming down. Wow. Okay. Lubellion, as we have seen a couple of times here. Setting a Fallen of Albaz and a Merly. Then Merly resolving with the other Merly in order to go into Kid Kalos. Just what we were talking about. From here, we're going to go Kid Kalos to grab something.
It is historically probably one of the best boss monsters that they've ever released in the game. But the fact that it has to be done at the expense of summoning Abyss Dweller. Now, I don't know if they've oriented their turn in such a way. Maybe you know a little bit more about that than I do, but I believe there is an effect in order to get Mirror Jade on the side of the field. There's something that locks them into fusions.
Oh, Branded Fusion locks you into fusions.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well.
No. So for that reason, we're not going to be able to make some of the powerful cards in the mirror, like Abyss Dweller, and unfortunately, that's a really big problem because absent lingering floodgates like Abyss Dweller, TEARLAMENT has an unbelievable ability to get back into the game.
I will say, very funny that I did not remember it was Branded Fusion that locked you into fusions.
Yeah, you ever heard of this card?
Yeah, normally when I play against Branded, it's fusions that they summon anyway. I just don't think of it. Lubellion also locks into fusions. Okay, all right. So there's more than one card that does that. Okay. So we have Mirror Jade, Rukalos here.
Looks like we're going to be able to end on everything. Kaleido Heart, Rukalos, Mirror Jade. I mean, as good as it gets without an Abyss Dweller on your side of the field, but you have to ask, like, a powerful board like this looks really good, but is it going to be enough?
Mirror Jade does offer quite a bit, I feel. Foolish Burial Goods here. Okay.
Not bad. I was going to say we can FB goods for a Scream, and the Scream in order to get either a Celiac or a Crime based on what we feel we're missing.
I would imagine a Celiac here.
We're getting Crime. We might already have it. To those of you joining us again, appreciate your continued patronage, despite the fact that this thing donked out for almost no reason. Hello Reno, this late into the combo. Love to see it. This will get us a monster with which we can discard with Crime and pop off on our opponent's turn. Chat, this is top 4, not finals. And we'll take Havness. All right, from here we can set this copy of Crime and pass back. Looks like no Celiac, but Crime's pretty good, especially when you expect that the things your opponent are going to be able to do that you're not going to be able to deal with are going to be big sweeping equalizers. You know, as is, it's not that big of a deal. Heartbeat coming down contests the crime almost immediately. I imagine you still fire the crime just to get the Havness in the graveyard, or maybe you retain the Havness under the assumption that you'll be able to mill powerful monsters and play during your opponent's turn. It's a thinker for sure. I would be in the tank on this for a little bit.
All right.
I gotta say, you were absolutely correct. Heartbeat coming in clutch in these moments. They are just gonna let it resolve here.
Heartbeat.
And
It
pitching
was
a
one of those
Celiac.
cards. It was one of those cards that I just didn't see a lot in tournament play, but it just feels so strong whenever it resolves.
It was exceptionally common early on in Tearlament's lifespan because Mystic Mine was legal. But I think as soon as
Right.
that card was banned, people just were like, okay, forget it. You know, we're not dealing with this ever again.
It's just such an interesting removal, too. Shuffles it back into the deck, like... It's even good in the mirror because it shuffles the Celiac back, like, just...
It's unbelievable,
Very,
yeah.
very good card, yeah.
The problem is that it doesn't contribute anything to the linear game plan. And it's like the third best spell trap search target.
Right, and, you know, backer removal in your main deck is a liability still, so... Ooh, looks like we milled a Kelbeck here off of that Scream effect.
As well as a Sheeran. This is interesting. Perhaps use Sheeran here to try and prompt the Keldo. But we have like Keldo and Mudora. We've got, I think, a Mudora in this graveyard as well. The Keldo being on field is a big problem because you can proactively Mudora from the perspective of -1 in order to get the Mudora offline. But you can't do anything about this Keldo. Like, it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
The way to deal with it is either to Mirror Jade or to Kaleido Heart, at which point it can trade for something. So, just a question of how much you want to do that. Like, if you Mirror Jade or Kaleido Heart, suddenly you're down to one piece of interaction in the one that you don't use against a 4-card hand, which could conceivably contain a lot of stuff you really would like to banish.
That is something that I find interesting about this mirror. It might be one of my favorite parts of the tier, like favorite like niche interaction of the tier mirror, is when your shufflers are on board, they are protected from the other shufflers, right? So Agito's second effect, for example, the one that summons a shuffler from the grave, or summons one of the Ishizu cards from the grave, using that effect is very useful because it pulls them out of the graveyard to save them from your opponent's shufflers, potentially. So
Right.
Frequently, summoning a shuffler is very strong because you're starting off with your shuffler on board, which saves it from the threat of being, you know, targeted by like a crow or another shuffler or something. So really good start, normal summoning Keldo here.
The other problem that we have to worry about is that Keldo can tag out at instant speed. So Mirror Jade to force the Keldo, unfortunately, requires the Mirror Jade to resolve, and we'd have to eat one of ours.
Oh, that's true. What an imposing board on the opponent's side, though.
Right, it's all purple boys.
Yeah, I know.
So one weird part about Muddragon of the Swamp in this matchup in particular is that it plays an insanely pivotal role in locking your opponent. So Muddragon of the Swamp prevents your opponent from targeting this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute with card effects. So if you call Dark in a position like this, you can prevent your opponent from targeting their own Kitkalos with Kitkalos, and like they have to figure out another way to get it off board.
That is true. That's actually, yeah, that comes up a lot, I imagine.
Yeah, the Muddragon of the Swamp, no targeting, preventing your opponent targeting their own monsters with beneficial effects comes up a lot more often than you would expect. I was just playing a Tournament Tuesday with Crush Cards a couple of days ago, and I basically FTK'd a dinosaur player by just calling Earth, and they went like Scrap Raptor, and I was like, Earth, and they went, oh, I lose.
Yep. Also pairs well with the Mirror Jade here, right? Because Mirror Jade doesn't target. So
Right.
even though you have the Mud Dragon effect online, you can still use the Mirror Jade as an interruption for the
Well, that's the
opponent's
funny
monster.
part. Mud Dragon is not reciprocal. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's
Oh, it does
crazy.
say your opponent.
Yeah.
Okay.
This card is so funny, man. It's strange. It could be a vanilla, and it would still see pretty heavy play, just by virtue
Right.
of having that incredible line of materials. But instead, it also just like has these corner case interactions that matter immensely. Like, you can get it on a board where you intend to normal a Rhino Heart. You can normal a Rhino Heart. After resolution, you can activate the graveyard effect of a monster that'll tag in a Kit Close. You can chain Mud Dragon to make it dark. And it was like, if you're the opponent, you're like, well, I can't negate any of this. How is this fair?
Yeah.
You can't even negate the effect of the Mud Dragon because it's always affecting itself.
Very good card.
Yeah, it's great.
Very good card. Yeah. All right, so we see Keldo being activated here in response to Madness. Okay.
All right, looks like individuals are creeping back in. Apologies for the brief interruption. One of these days, you know what I should do before the subathon is get wired connection.
That would definitely help. It makes a difference for sure.
All right, so here we're going to go Mud Dragon Dark. And then we're going to go Tearlament Havness. Oh my god, look at those mills. Rhino Heart Merly. Only one of those is really important, actually. Whoa!
I am very impressed with this branded tier deck, I will say.
Hit a couple of Rhino Hearts, but not a lot else. And we hit a Shuffler, Havness. Wow, this is everything.
So there's the Kit Close, but we know that that can't use its effect targeting itself.
Yeah, it has to be able to target a monster you control. So here, all the monsters we control are dark.
Right. Chat saying proceed to Jade the Kit Close. I don't even think you need to here.
No, yeah. You wait for them to commit more. Like, what are they going to do? Dark? And, like, you can even flex the Kaleido Heart. It's a little bit of a more conditional removal, so you probably want to use that when you can. You can go Kaleido Heart, spin the Kit Close here now that an Aqua monster has been sent to the graveyard. It's just, there's a lot of options you have. Yeah, no, I like where your head's at. I definitely don't think that branded Tearlament is stronger than Tearlament Pure, but it's hard to look at boards like this and not feel like it's incredibly strong. It just comes down to, like, I value the existence of Dweller more than I value, like, an additional Mirror Jade as part of my end board. But
Right.
I gotta admit, in this particular scenario, like, the branded fusion got them early in the graveyard to actually do the thing in the first place, so who knows?
Definitely looking at it, it seems
Yeah.
really,
And
really
a real
strong.
quick game one
Wow.
coming out of that. A win for -1, and it would be really cool to see branded Tearlament, the one that makes it to finals. Yeah, let's check the sideboards real quick. So, -1 is of course playing a main deck that includes a a lot of stuff that enables the branded line, but is also playing a significant amount of kind of, I guess I would say, off-meta Tearlament cards. We've seen a lot of cards like Tearlament Grief this weekend, specifically out of -1. I guess I get it more in a deck that aims to get to that specific end board. But the other thing about -1's deck is that it's not actually playing very many millers. If you look at the list, I think he's on 1 Kelbeck, and like that's it.
Ooh.
This is something that Jesse Cotton was doing for the Mirror in the most recent MCS that he played, where he would just board out of Agido, because like Agido is a real big liability in the Mirror. Like you never want to activate it. It's like, oh, if your hand's really bad, you can send Agido. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if your hand's really bad and you Agido, maybe it fixes your hand, but your ceiling's still going to be way lower than your opponent's. So that's real interesting. Out of the board, it's got a card that I really hope does not come up. But I guess we'll have to see. As well as, of course, a bunch of stuff specifically for this matchup. I do like that there's a significant amount of duelists that are like, oh, not only do I expect to only hit tier, and I'm only going to board for that matchup, it's just going to be like going first or going second stuff. Like nothing with respect to Flu, with respect to EXO, believing that Engine's enough. I gotta say, Lizard has a side deck that includes a couple of cards that I can't believe are legal. So we'll just have to see how it pans out.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see more of this branded tier deck in action. I think like you hear a lot about how something is lower powered and like a suboptimal build, but I mean, you see it in action. It's just like, okay, well, if somebody really knows what they're doing, then, you know, even though the build might statistically or whatever be suboptimal, if a person is more comfortable playing a specific build of the deck, then, you know, that's duelist preference at that point, and sometimes that does take precedent.
Real quick, I got an update on the previous match, or the other match rather. Shizumu is down 0-1 to Alex00000, who is of course the tier player. Give your energy to the biggest bird. May they make it to finals and then lose in finals, as is tradition.
The Flu special.
Flu is so good at getting to finals and losing. It's like better than almost every single deck that does that.
Has Flu, okay, so Flu has won an MCS, correct?
Yes, I think Flu has. Yeah.
I think folks in chat were saying that before. It has not won a YCS.
That is correct. Flu has never, ever won a YCS.
That... All right.
Probably, at this point, the most consistently playable deck that has never won a YCS.
You can say that I'm coping.
Yeah.
But I think in Cyberstorm Access, it's time.
Yeah, you're out of your mind. You're
No. I think it's time. I think Morganite, it's going to happen.
I'm glad you think so.
That's big cope. All right, chat. I'm willing to make the Hail Mary bet.
Okay.
All right, moving into the second game here, we see a Lizard starting off. Expected.
All right,
wow,
here we go.
Max C. Yep.
Sometimes I feel like minigame failed. So that said, this is... Oh!
Oh my god.
Oh! Ain't no way. That's right. That is Gravekeeper's Trap with Exchange of the Spirit in the graveyard. Now, if you've never seen this little interaction, get excited. When Exchange of the Spirit is in your graveyard, your opponent cannot activate the effects of cards in the graveyard or special summon monsters from the graveyard. You'll note that this is the end of the game.
It's Jover.
Legitimately, they're going... Like, as long as Lizard can get to an end board that includes Crime to contest like a Heartbeat, I think they just straight up cannot win.
There's got to be a way to play around this. I can't call it Jover just yet.
Yeah, so there is. It only has that effect while Exchange of the Spirit is in the graveyard. So if we normal summon a Shuffler and then shuffle it back, or if we DD Crow the exchange of the spirit, we can. But here, it's most important just as a dweller that can be activated turn 1 without having to play too hard in a max C. You see, we milled a bunch of really cool stuff, you know, Merly, Rhino Heart, and they didn't get anything off of it.
So cool.
You know, notably,
Oh, wow.
Branded does pretty well in this position.
I was thinking, actually, if you just windmill slam Branded Fusion on
Like,
the
this is
board.
an extremely targeted card against a very specific deck, and we are playing a deck that is different enough that we might not fall as prey to it as just like a Shizu Tearlament Pure would.
So, Lizard under the effect of the Maxi here, I imagine what they go for is just get Sulliek. Was that a Ghost Reaper?
It was, yeah. Ghost Reaper, pretty powerful in the mirror. Ooh, are we just setting 1 and passing?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
still
Kick Kalos.
good. I mean, if it's Sulliek, which I think we know it is, that's incredible, but does have kind of a problem with normal summon Shuffler.
I believe in the Branded Fusion. Let's see it.
Okay, what are we calling? Branded Fusion here,
Branded
right?
Fusion. Guarantee it.
Evenly matched. That's a good one.
Oh,
That's a good
that
one,
is
actually.
good.
It is Foolish Burial Goods. Speaking of good ones.
Yeah, well, it's not going to... it doesn't do anything here, right? Because of the Gravekeeper's Trap.
Oh, first we have to find it after that, yeah.
Yeah. Because Gravekeeper's Trap isn't just monster effects, it's all effects in the grave, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Wow.
This card's incredibly powerful. It's really shocking.
I would love to see, like, a pure Ishizu deck. Isn't there, like, that Earth Fairy that does something specific with continuous trap cards? That would be neat to see.
I was like, I think a dedicated Earth Fairy deck would just be called Madolche, or perhaps a Weathery Painter.
I suppose that's fair. There are other like Ishizu type cards.
Well, there's one other Ishizu that came out earlier than the rest and sees no play. Are you familiar with the Zolga retrain?
There is the Zolga retrain, but there's another one too. It's like what is this card's name? It like gets continuous traps back out of your out of your graveyard. I can't remember what it is, but
We were attempting to go to battle here, I believe. So we're going to Gravekeeper's Trap to grab an Earth Fairy. And this is the other part of this card that's incredible. It's just like an endless conga line of the best Shizu card in your deck. So here we can activate a Guido at a point where we can't actually do anything about it because none of our effects are going to trigger.
Wow. Oh.
Oh!
Excuse me?
That's the wrong King of the Swamp! That's the
What?
wrong King of the Swamp! He said, King of the Swamp Limited? We'll see. Wait, what the fuck? This is an Aqua Fusion sub guy whose name is King of the Swamp. Are you? This is the exact same card as King of the Swamp. The only difference is it doesn't add Poly. But you were never playing Poly anyway. What the fuck?
Oh, well, this person's playing Poly.
Why did everyone... Okay, well, why did everyone go so hard in getting King of the Swamp Limited when you could just play King of the Swamp 2?
What's crazy about that card is that it's a level 4. It's a level 4 water. Whoa.
Chat saying
I
King of the
see
Swamp
negative
is a
one has
retrain?
been
There's
cooking.
no way King of the Swamp is a retrain.
That is actually true, by the way. Beast King of the Swamp was the first card to come out. King
No,
of the Swamp
I
came
agree
out
with
later.
that. King of the Swamp came out in like the 4th set. This card is literally from 2005. It's in Pharaoh's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Inheritance.
That's awesome.
Is part of the swamp. I don't know what to tell you. I just do not know what to tell you.
All right, let's say if they can be king of the swamp their way out of this board. They got what, 7 cards in hand?
Yeah. I mean, Maxi's a hell of a card, but
That is true.
you know, I mean, this is a board that demands a very specific out. And here it is. Time to play Did You Find Crime?
I imagine if this evenly matched resolves, we're keeping the Gravekeeper's Trap, right? Oh my god.
Oh no.
You're telling me with all these mills, there is still the evenly matched in the deck.
No, there's not! Why would they keep it in going first? They called a heartbeat. Oh, okay, so what they're doing here is they're firing it because they're going to banish down a Gravekeeper's Trap, and they don't want them heartbeating at point of resolution.
Okay, that's actually, that's okay. All right.
So this sucks ass, but like now any 2/4s wins you the game, or normal summon a Shuffler, or DD Crow.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we see Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
No, I don't think it will.
Wait,
because
actually,
how
no, it
are we
won't.
getting it back? So wait, there is actually a way that this does it. If we've opened Branded Fusion, it will trigger the Pellerino.
Yes. Branded sweep.
Oh, they got a 4. They might just be going into Trident, which would be good, but would cut them off of Branded Fusion. This is a thinker for sure.
Yeah,
What a funny card.
I know.
I keep making fun of builds that are playing this. Do we need to take it seriously?
I think so, like, oh god, it's so hard to. But when you know everybody is on tier,
This card isn't
it
even
does
like
a lot.
good in the Tearlament mirror. Like we just rattled off 9 cards that you play main deck in tier that beat it.
But it gets you all your shufflers. It's normally for cards like this,
That was a
people would
normal
describe
Sheeran, by
it
the way.
as win more.
Whoa.
Oh. It's winning most right now.
That's really interesting. So
Oh no.
if that, well, I mean, I don't know about oh no even. If that set card is like Heartbeat, you're in a really good position. But for the snow, that's going to turn it off. Havness here would be the punish. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We are he said, I'm going to have a Tearlament face up on my field. You will not stop me.
I guess why did we go for the snow at that point, actually?
Because if they don't have Havness, oh my god, we can Kelbeck bounce it.
Oh.
Because the
I
only
can't
thing that
believe
loses
this.
us the game from this position is if they're able to out the Gravekeeper's Trap, which they can only do with Tearlament's Heartbeat or like a number of rank 4s, right? So expecting they have Heartbeat, you're trying to cut them off of Tearlament monsters. They can't proactively activate it because you cross-outed it for this turn in particular. Then we're going to go Keldo, which because we have a fucking Exchange of the Spirit in the graveyard, puts 5 cards from the grave back before they can even attempt to do something like remove the Gravekeeper's Trap from the field.
What a wild game state.
I'm being told by chat that Tearlament Heartbeat doesn't need a monster on field. Is this thing just better MST? What?
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. It has an extra effect if you do, I think.
Then send one card in your hand to the graveyard. Huh? Then why are they trying to keep this on field?
Yeah, that's why I'm
like,
confused.
then it would be for Saliak. But who cares about Saliak if you're under Gravekeeper's Trap? All right, now I'm confused.
Effective. That effective Gravekeeper's Trap is so good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And it also discards for effect.
Oh, crime, chat says.
Or wait, no, it doesn't. Never mind. It doesn't. It's cost. I saw the semicolon.
Crime?
I missed the semicolon.
But crime can't get Gravekeeper's Trap. It has the same text as, like, totally awesome. It's spell, trap card, or monster effect. Chat says, yes, it can. No, it can't. No, it literally cannot. Deck out time? I mean, deck out's going to be almost impossible against someone who can put 10 cards back in their deck per turn.
How many? What's the deck count for both players?
-1 is on 9. Lizard is on 5.
Yeah, deck out's not real anyway.
Yeah. Not in the mirror.
More likely that -1 is going to deck out, actually.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, that might be the play. Yeah, they're at 0 now. Oh, Gravekeeper's Trap prevents them from activating Keldor or Mudora. They could just pass here, right?
Yeah, it's over.
That's so funny. What a high roll open, I gotta say.
Yeah. Wow.
Not trying to disparage Lizard, because this is still really impressive play, but seems like one of the better hands the deck can produce.
Why are we... Yeah, there we go.
The Max C kill.
Perfect.
Ooh, that's so funny. Again, see, Max C is fair. Wow. That was a very strange one, I will admit.
Yeah.
We do have a report from the other one. Our Fluonderies gamer has perished.
No.
How could this have happened?
Now we got a game 3 on our hands, right?
We do. Yeah, this is game 3. So, looking at game 3, thankfully you're not going to really have to worry about Gravekeeper's Trap.
That's fair. Well, now we did see an Exchange of the Spirit in the branded players list. So
no, we didn't.
We're going into game 3.
What
they are siding.
We literally did not.
Yeah, we did. It was in their grave, I'm pretty sure.
No, we didn't. I'm looking at the list.
No, we didn't? Oh, okay. You must have been looking at the opponent's graveyard. Yeah. Okay. Could have sworn I saw that.
I was gonna say, listen, they're cutting millers in order to shave room for Fallen of Albaz. You know, I think Gravekeeper's Trap and Exchange of the Spirit are way earlier on the docket of stuff you cut.
But what if it wasn't? What if?
I didn't think about it that way. So I will say, while Lizard has some stuff to board into for going second, they don't have a ton. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a hand that's incapable of playing through something like an Abyss Dweller. They've really lucked out in terms of matchups that they won't probably have to encounter that.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this goes. Seems like the biggest side deck card we've been seeing this entire time is evenly matched.
Right.
Obviously the most impact.
Of course.
But I don't have the information of the side decks like you do, so...
You should. Aren't you in the staff Discord?
I am not.
Get in the staff Discord.
There we go.
You are such a silly
Alright.
Billy.
Hey, I was just, just vibing along for the ride this whole time.
Just waiting for the siding to finish.
-1 seems to have already decided on their game plan.
Yeah.
Alright.
A lot easier to decide when you're going first.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of inclusions just make obviously the evenlies come out and all that stuff and just replace with the stuff that you put in to go first.
Mm-hmm. What if instead of choosing to go first, you go second? After the Gravekeeper's Trap game, I bet that that is not going to happen.
Yeah, no. You can't at that point. You never know if they keep it in for whatever reason.
I mean, they might not have stuff to take out. Whew. They are really in the tank on this.
I know. There we go.
All right, they are back in. You know what I realized about this person's avatar? This isn't a top 100 Duelist Cup player. It's a top 10.
What?
Yeah. Just randomly showed up. Said, oh, yeah. Not to intimidate -1, but good luck.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't count -1 out at all. This
no,
list
yeah,
that
I
they're
mean,
playing
game 1 looked real good for him.
Yeah.
All right, they are doing the die roll and about to jump in. Chat, this is going to be the last opportunity for a non-pure tier deck to make it to finals. Let's see if they can do it. Game 3 begins now.
Believe in the branded sweep.
Chat saying a Shizu tier isn't pure. Oh, you got me.
So true, chat. What
you know we gotta set it. You know we gotta set it.
What a start. Gosh. It's a raw opening
just
one
a
of
beautiful card.
I know.
Look at that. Just so nice.
What a
kill
sick
for a royal
too.
like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Sheeran coming down. We are probably going to send this Havness that we just searched. Maybe a Shuffler if we've got one. Ooh, that's pretty good. One of the very few scenarios in which it's possible for this deck to make an Abyss Dweller. Rhino Heart to the graveyard. Murley a hit as well as... Oh my gosh, Saliak. Finally, things are turning around for -1. We're seeing better mills. Saliak can get pretty much anything. If we want, Murley could theoretically make a Kit Kolos. We might just want an Engrave as potential material.
Yeah, I don't know if we fire both effects here just yet. I think we might save the Murley.
It's weird. If we had gone Murley CL1, then we could have summoned the Rhino Heart, discarded the Havness for cost, then triggered the Murley to shuffle back the Havness. But I think we probably want to retain the Havness potentially. So it's a lot to think about. Ooh, did you see that? That was a little bit of the pass back onto Lizard's side. You got to wonder what that is. Potentially a Kelbeck. Rhino Heart now on the field. We're going to pitch another Sheeran in the hand. We will activate, I imagine, the Sheeran and the Rhino Heart here in sequence.
So now that we kept that Murley engraved, we have it as material for the Sheeran.
And there it is. That's what I was really afraid of. On the special summon, we can fire off Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Point of resolution. We're going to show him. You know, I've got this card in my extra called TEARLAMENT Kit Kolos. I feel like you might have one as well.
That is devastating.
Yeah, it's bad for sure. Notably,
Okay.
it could be worse. TEARLAMENT Kit Kolos goes to the banish zone here, which is, of course, devastating, but also doesn't put it out of contention. It's not banished face down. It's banished face up. It retains its TEARLAMENT status. This deck in particular has a pretty easy time getting cards out of banish by way of Lubellion. So, if we can potentially get to a branded fusion, or if we've opened one, we have the potential to use Kit Kolos as the material for something like a Mirror Jade and get it back into rotation pretty easily.
That is so hot.
It is. Alternatively, we could mill Crime, you know, if we just get
That's
lucky.
The things that this list can do and can play through.
Like, we've got a line to crime right now. If we want to go Pellerino, pop our own Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart summon itself, send crime to graveyard. Holy shit, that's what they're doing. They're actually doing that right now. Oh, no.
Yeah.
This line is so funny. Oh. Okay, so we go bring back Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart can send a Tearlament card to the graveyard here. So what we're going to send is crime. I imagine. Yes, theoretically, we could send a name we don't have. Oh, we're actually sending Scream. Or are we just trying to play Celiac Control? I mean, we can do that, too.
Yeah, okay.
We have it normaled. As long as we've got a 4, ending on Celiac Kaleido Heart Dweller is just literally an FTK.
Any chance that -1 is playing Branded Opening and Aluber?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, but...
We don't play bad cards in this deck, come on.
True.
It's possible they're sitting on a Branded Fusion and a 4 and just trying to decide. Ooh, or they're sitting on a couple of trap cards. Perhaps they didn't crime because they have it already. So this is still pretty good. Sheeran means that even if they have an out for the Kaleido Heart, we have a target for Celiac. We know there's a Haveness in hand, which means we could potentially go even farther. We're not able to make it, unfortunately, to the Abyss Dweller, but we still got a lot going.
Oh...
No, come on,
Hey.
not like this.
Whoa. What is happening? Huh?
Okay, all right, okay. Some Cots here. A pass back. I wonder if the reason they didn't send crime is because they opened it?
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
I mean, if that's the case, you would just wait for the polymerization, but...
Yeah.
Or maybe not even the polymerization, maybe the, Oh, no, not like this.
Okay, so a deck that never bricks has somehow bricked.
Well, to be fair, while this deck never bricks, Lizard is on a high roll version playing a bunch of singletons like Beast King of the Swamp. If there's a build of this deck that has the potential to brick, they're on it.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh, 3 back row going second is the other thing. Like,
Yeah.
I imagine that it's like Celiac Crime, maybe a Heartbeat.
In Heartbeat, you could almost even activate. I mean, you'd need a name that actually accomplishes something. Yeah, I mean, do we even activate this? This is almost lethal already.
I guess you just go for it.
I mean, if you have a crime, you really can play exceptionally
Okay.
loose.
So
Okay,
the
so we
imperms
can
were
expect that those two are
pre-telegraphed.
probably imperms.
Yeah.
What if...
What do
What
you
if
have on
it's
board here?
imperm evenly? And rather than fire the imperms and then the evenly on their turn, they know that doesn't contest crime. So they set the evenly in the zones that the opponent's traps are, wait for them to go to battle, imperm in the other zone, then at end of battle phase flip evenly, ensuring that it resolves.
That... I don't think that's what's happening here, but that's
That would
not
be
terrible.
an enormous brain play.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, there was a little pause there at end of battle, and I was like, yeah? I honestly wonder if you just pass here. You just say whatever.
You would have to, right? I mean,
I'm
no,
trying to
you
think
don't.
what
You can
theoretically you
continue
could do
playing,
that would improve your board state. Coming up pretty empty, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think you want to take as few actions as possible so that the imperm refreshes.
You have Sulliek. You have another back row. We don't know what it is, but, you know, it could be impactful in some way. No. Elf here?
Yeah, Elf's pretty good. The thing that it kind of frightens me is, like, if we have an out to the Kaleido Heart, this is a weird position relative to us having, like, Crime online. But asking for an out to Crime and Kaleido Heart in 2 cards that doesn't run into either of them in sequence is a pretty big ask. Grabbing Merly here, despite the fact that we've already used Merly this turn. Or just passing.
Interesting.
I think we're just making Elf, not to extend, but to protect our 2 monsters, to be completely honest.
Right.
This also, like, screws up opposing super polymerizations, right? There's not, like, a really good one to go into here, or really any at all, because you've got a fire, a dark, and then one that can't be fusion material. One of them is Heartbeat.
One of them is Heartbeat. Yep.
So that means they probably didn't have a name until this turn. That's the one in the Imperm zone. Potentially scouting it out to try and see if they will activate it into what could be an Imperm. You can Imperm the Elf here and potentially get away with it.
Still feels weird though. I feel like I would if we're doing Imperm stuff here.
Crime.
Oh,
That's the Crime
okay.
zone. Wow. So they didn't send Crime because they did open it.
Yeah.
That's wild. So this prevents them from sending from hand, which is nice, and it allows you to send from hand, which we know they have the Haveness, so theoretically they can do something if they want to. If that set card is an Imperm, it is now just completely useless. But whatever this board state is, it now has to compete with a 3-card hand, which in tier can be pretty much anything. Pitching a Mudora here instead of the Haveness is insane. It keeps your Pellerino on. Oh my goodness. And that's a quick scoop out of Lizard says, nah, you got it, not enough. And -1 on branded TEARLAMENT will be advancing to the final round of contention. Hello, everybody. It is your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, and we are back with the finals of the 13th week of the Master Circuit series. I'm so excited to be here for the one last time with my boy, Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Peeps, how are you doing today?
I'm phenomenal. I did not misclick the Discord buttons a second ago. Everything is going well. I'm ready for this final. I'm super excited. This branded tier list that we've been seeing is really it gets me hyped. I'm super excited.
It's
to see
really cool. I'm not gonna pretend like it sucks. I know that many of you were so excited to see a Fluonderies versus TEARLAMENT final. Darn, you're not gonna get it. Instead, you are getting TEARLAMENT versus branded tier, and we are headed into game 1 right now.
All right, so it looks like who won the coin flip? Who won the coin flip? It is -1.
Oh my god, -1 has been opening Pellerino like it's his fucking job.
It's great. Of course it's a
oh, decent open.
Whoa.
Pellerino Prospeed. Oh, and branded fusion? You know, perhaps that's the pick. That was a 3, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that means they just have everything. Oh my god,
They took Rhino Heart. Oh, wow.
Oh, this is so sick.
All right, so we're going to begin with a copy of Pellerino. What do you get in this position? Sheeran? Yeah, there's Sheeran.
For sure. Yep.
And now let's make it happen, you know? Sheeran effect. Let's go ahead and pitch Bad Boy.
So okay. Them not taking the branded fusion. That means they have one,
Yeah,
right?
they have branded fusion, of course.
They've got it. Okay.
All right, we get to trigger Scream here, a good hit as well as a Shuffler and a DD Crow. One thing that I really like about the mills in this deck is obviously there are bad ones, but even the ones that are kind of mid, like DD Crow, have applicability later in the game. Like, oh, good, now I have something in the graveyard to shuffle back for a Mud Dragon. You know, there's a lot you can do, even with seemingly innocuous mills. Here, we're going to be able to bring back the Rhino Heart, sending a Sulliek, and grabbing another name as well.
Gosh, yeah. Crow, I don't know. Crow seems pretty phenomenal in this format right now. Like, we don't have the Bestials in Master Duel, so it's really the best you're going to get. Plus, being able to make Mud Dragon, very important. However, we've talked about this a couple times already, but resolving Branded Fusion or Lubellion, not being able to make an Xyz monster, locking you into fusions, are we really going for Dweller that much, right? Maybe they didn't take the Branded Fusion because they specifically want to summon Dweller.
I mean, that
this
would
turn,
make sense.
but we haven't seen them do that before, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are plenty of game states where they could have gone for a Dweller as part of their setup, but they just choose not to because they value getting that Mirror Jade on board as an extra form of interruption. So we'll see. We'll see from the rest of this turn here.
Yeah. There goes a 4. I think that might answer your question right there.
Exactly.
All right, down comes Kid Kalos. We can go ahead and activate Kid Kalos here. If we don't have a Celiac, given that we binned the last one, we can go grab it here, or we can just grab a Merly. We can start doing the Yoinky Sploinky and seeing what happens.
Don't think they've activated Merly's effect in the grave this game yet either. I might have missed that.
We did.
Oh.
We've used
We did,
Merly,
okay.
Rhino Heart, and I think that's it.
Okay, all right.
Oh, Chain Havness?
There's a Havness, okay.
All right, we are both playing on both players' turns. Let's make it happen.
All right,
Hit a
we've got
name.
one of those mills.
That's good enough.
Ooh.
So we haven't committed to Branded Fusion yet. If we want, we could cycle the Kid Kalos, try and get a name that we haven't hit, make Mudragon, and still go for a Dweller before continuing our plays if we just want to end on like normal TEARLAMENT stuff. Of course, we could also have open Branded Fusion and want to go for that and just Branded Fusion and end on Mirror Jade.
So, since they've milled the Merly, since Alex 00000 has milled the Merly off the Havness, you would think that they go for it. However, with the knowledge, or they go for like summoning Kid Kalos or whatever. However, with the knowledge that they didn't take the Branded Fusion, I mean, -1 could just activate the Branded Fusion, go for Lubellion, go for Mirror Jade, then banish the Kid Kalos.
That's like crazy, but if you're under the impression that they're going to activate Branded Fusion, you would want to go into Kid Kalos and then send a name and then make Rukalos, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
Here, it's just going to trade for the Keldo that's already in grave. We already knew about.
Yeah, so no Kid Kalos being summoned here.
And we're going to go for the Yoinky Sploinky. Let's mill 9. Kid Kalos for 5, Merly for 3.
What are we hitting?
I mean, whoa, what the heck?
Wait a minute. They don't have Branded Fusion.
That's the 2. Well, we've shuffled the deck since, so they theoretically could.
Oh, I thought I saw Branded Fusion at the top. My apologies.
So that's Havness and a Shuffler. I mean, that's pretty good. They're thinking. Oh, they are thinking.
Yeah, I know. They're really deep in the tank on this, but...
Ooh. Here's a fun fact that you may not know.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, okay. We were just going for Mudragon.
Oh, it's Mud. Okay.
All right, okay. They're like, forget about it.
It's Dweller time.
Branded Fusion,
Yep.
Schmanded Fusion. We're just making Dweller. Dweller pass. Let's go. Honestly, pretty
Incredible
good
stuff.
If the 2 set cards are Celiac and Crime, this is very much a winning board.
Now, this is really interesting, because like I said before, this is the first time we've seen a Dweller at a -1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're, like, nervous about the fact that they feel like they have to tunnel into Dweller in finals.
No, I think it's fine. Like, a lot of the time, you can be nervous about Dweller because it can easily eat, like, a Gamma or an Imperm. But in a scenario where your opponent has resolved Havness and failed to, like, combo off as a result, like, they don't have any of those options available. You can be almost positive Dweller's going to work. Here, they're going to normal summon a Rhino Heart really cool. It's going to send a card. Scream is going to send 3 more cards. None of them are going to do anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just let all this go.
It's very interesting that we never saw them do anything with Dweller before this game. Huh. All right.
All good hits, all good hits. The frustrating part about this is even with the Tearlament Scream reduction, Dweller evens out at 17 because of Pellerino. Wait. No, because of the monster underneath it. Right.
Yeah.
Blech. All right, we're going Dark here. Dark, of course, is crazy. But we don't really have a good target. I guess we can get Fallen of Albaz. Is there anything that normal tier can do
With Fallen
of Albaz? Is there like a... No, they're just grabbing Kid Kalos. That's really good. It maybe chases out the Mudora, or it maybe gets Havnist, or it maybe chases out the Celiac. This would be a crazy Celiac. The Maxi being activated in this part of the chain is kind of frustrating because it means, like, if you have a Crime, you can't do it there because you still have to prevent the Dark from resolving.
Right. Doesn't leave us in too terrible a position, though, because honestly, we could summon the Havness Mill 3 and then just not fusion summon something.
Mm-hmm. Targeting the Celiac, the Kid Kalos, and what was that from the opponent? The Maxi?
Interesting.
Sure. So draw onto that, idiot. What do we hit? Oh my god, every name in the book.
Ooh. I don't know.
It's a rough call to make. They haven't used Sheeran, which is big, but they have used their normal summon.
I do here. I feel like you just can't play into it.
We are going.
Oh, they're going for it.
You have to be careful about playing into it too, because like popping the Dark is such a liability. I said popping the Dark is only a liability if they're not under Dweller, so you just get to eat it with Pellerino.
That's actually true.
That was 2 for the Kid Kalos that they shuffled back. And I imagine you just pass on the Kid Kalos. You just go like Kid Kalos, grab an extender. And they're like in such a weird position here. Like all the cards that you're afraid of, things like evenly matched or just offline, they've actually never given their opponent an opportunity to have an empty board state. Like they're really managing their opponent's board very well.
Right. I would agree.
All right, Sid, I hope those 2 draws were worth it. What's up next?
I just don't like Dweller. It's
Dweller. He's Dweller, you know? I don't know what to say. Triple tack.
No.
Okay. You know, I really don't think we can fault them for triple tacking. There's basically no way to play around it. If we've got a Crime, then, you know, we're just that guy. Is -1 him.
Even if, I mean, they're doing the effect to take, but like, what do they do?
Abyss
just
Dweller
kinda let
over
it
Havness. Eat the board with Zeus? No, because they don't have the material to do that, right? They would need
No,
one
they
more material
would.
on the Dweller.
No, they wouldn't, because the Dweller becomes the material. So
Right, but if they want to Zeus in a way that's not profitable for their opponent.
I see.
Like you don't want to like just ram a Dweller in as a vanilla, then go for Zeus, and then Zeus, and then go, okay, Merly 1, kick Kalos 2,
Merly 1, head
Scream
kick
3.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
I don't think you can use the Dweller even though.
No, you can.
Oh, you can? Oh.
Yeah,
that ruling,
once per turns that are not Oh no. Yeah, no, you're right. For some reason I thought this was a hard once. Soft ones per turns follow the card. Hard ones per turns follow the person. Children's card.
Well, now I know.
Yeah.
I guess I did the wrong equation but got the right answer. I still did not know the reasoning as to why. I just, for whatever reason, just was like, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, no, it's strange for sure. I just thought Abyss Dweller was a hard once. I guess there's no reason you would ever have 2 Abyss Dwellers on the field at the same time.
Playing around Forbidden Chalice.
Yeah. We're taking Dweller. So Dweller is big. It is boosted by its own effect, and was taking 500 off the Scream, is why it was 700 on the opponent's side. I mean, yeah, we can go for Zeus. It's just really bad. It's really not very good.
What other play do you really have, though? I think is what their thought process is.
It depends on what the hand looks like. If you... Oh, I don't know. I guess we're going for it. I guess, if nothing else, Zeusing from this position forces them to trigger their special summon effects while they're under Maxi, which is like better than the alternative. So you
okay,
Zeus,
yeah.
pray they extend, and pray you draw into like Keldo material. Ugh, I don't know. I'm really struggling to see what kind of competent board you could put up through this.
I don't know. In terms of your available plays, if this is it, you know, forcing it.
Wow, we waited forever on that crime. That's incredible. we
I
waited
think,
through triple tack. We said, I don't give a fuck about triple tack.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you have crime, like, what the fuck are they gonna do with the triple tack, right? I mean, yeah,
Right.
they take this. If they go for the Zeus though, then yeah, you just leave the crime for that, and that gets the Zeus off the board. Like, yeah, this is. I struggle to see what Alex is going to do from this position here.
Kelbeck's big. Kelbeck
nice.
bounced the Kit Kalos. Probably not a lot we can do about that. We have normaled, but Keldo and a guy like make Dweller. Dueling
We are
Dweller.
shockingly even on our card economy right now, though.
Yeah.
But that's deceptive, though, is the thing that I
Right.
always have to remind myself, is that these cards can go from 1 card to, like, 12
come
very
on.
easily. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Really?
Unknown is Maxi. Let's go. It's a nice Pellerino. It's got to be a monster in hand and a Sheeran if we want to go for Dweller. Havness. Do we have Sheeran already, or are we just passing on Havness? We are passing on Havness. Havness, famously good if your opponent knows you have it.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to activate into it right now, though, right?
This is like a pretty powerful Havness as well, because like it'll trigger while they have a Shuffler and Grave, right? And I believe we only have the 1. Oh, we actually have none. Wow. And then TEARLAMENT Scream will trigger on an independent chain. So unless we've opened Keldo plus Mudora, they do have an opportunity to force through a name. The out to that is just like normal summon any decently large person.
I love how, like, second, I was like, oh, I struggle to think about what Alex does through this, and then the Kelbeck just, like...
All right, well, that is a
insane.
decently large person.
Yeah, that'll get rid of the Kelbeck. And we swing for 13. We know they have Havness. Do we really just pass on Merly Havness?
We theoretically could make like Dark here, or Sprite Elf. We've got some options. Elf it is.
Okay.
Problem is, activating Elf here just allows your opponent to activate Havness.
Yeah, I don't...
All right,
I guess, like...
let's check it out.
Where are we going from
All right,
here?
we just will not get unlucky. That's one Whifferoni. And there's no names in that. So we're turn player. We go Merly first. They go Scream second. And then we got to hit a Shuffler. But if we hit a Shuffler, we win, I will note.
Well, we already have the Medora engraved, though. Oh, wait. Am I looking at the wrong
We
grave
do
again?
not have Medora engraved, no. Alex has Medora engraved.
Okay, yeah.
Sending crime here. We hit a Shuffler. We're just that guy. I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit nothing. We hit crime with nothing banished. Wow. That was really something. So we don't have another Merly in there, which makes this elf kind of sussy. Oh, come on, man.
Whoa.
Okay, so if we're Kelbecking, I imagine we are also going to Keldo to block the Shufflers. Or maybe we aren't doing any of that shit and we're just trying to Kelbeck to get another Merly into rotation. After which we'll proactively Keldo to get all the Shufflers out so that we can use Elf on the next turn. Nope, we're proactively going for the Shuffler. We just believe we're going to mill better. We legitimately are like, sorry, I have the mandate of heaven. That's incredible.
Hey.
Sometimes you gotta play like you're running hot. You just gotta say, you know what? I am that guy.
This is the Gamble Finals.
Yep. Said, get all the Shufflers out, please. I'm actually even gonna put my own Havness back. I want more hits. They say, okay, I'll use one of them. I don't even know what you put back. Do you put back your own stuff here? Dark. Maybe some names that you could theoretically hit off this Kelbeck. You've got a ton of names in Grave. Oh, this is going to be really crazy, because not only is this going to, like... Oh, this chain is going to get real heinous.
Yeah, it's gonna...
All right, chat, let me see some Gambas.
Yeah, it's Gamba time.
All right, Keldo putting back a bunch of names in Dark. Keldo putting back all the Shufflers. Kelbeck milling 5. We have hit Sheeran Saliek, and we have hit Mudora, Rhinoheart, Scream, Saliek. Oh, wow. That's unbelievable.
I think -1 did just mill better.
Yeah, he is that guy. So now we get to go Scream, Saliek, Pellerino, target our own Merly if we so desire, or we can target our opponent's Pellerino. That's kind of crusty because we're turn player, which means that their Pellerino is going to resolve. We're going to go Pellerino 4, target the Pellerino. We hit a name and a Saliek. I wonder how much of that we activate. The Sheeran we are activating. And then we are activating Saliek as well. We are going up to 6. Will we see a 7 on the Mudora? I can't remember if we've activated both Shufflers this turn. It's like, it's just been a really long turn.
Yeah, this turn is... Woo, I'm doing my best to keep up with this. This is tough. All right, so it's got to be the Medora. I don't think
if we haven't activated Mudora, I imagine we're activating Mudora here.
Yeah, we would have to. We got to get the Sheeran out of the graveyard.
It's actually kind of rough. I don't think we've activated Havness this turn, so Pellerino, targeting Pellerino maybe would have been worth to target Havness. Oh, it's a question. We are going Mudora. I imagine we're targeting the Sheeran and, I don't know, probably like Prosby or something. Who knows? Oh, we'll probably target our own Dweller for sure.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
Mud Dragon. I mean, having Mud Dragon in Grave isn't the worst thing ever, right? You can just... It gets you aligned to Predaplant Dragastapelia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's happening. We're targeting 2 cards in our opponent's graveyard, including the Sheeran, plus the Dweller. I think we targeted the Imperm there, just to give him, like, a bad draw. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I am so sorry, chat, to be like this. This rocks.
It is really cool.
There's so much teeth to this. The problem is I don't want to sit down and play a ladder of this for 12 hours.
That's the thing. Tier mirror is... Tier format is a Nutella, right?
Yeah.
It's a sometimes food, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot this. Okay. Okay, so it's still -1's turn. It's main 2. We could Sheeran.
Where is -1's Kit Kalos at? Is it still in the extra deck?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, we are running out of shufflers too. We gotta wrap this one up because we have 1 shuffler remaining in deck.
Yeah, you gotta... You can't keep waiting around here. They're going for Sheeran. They gotta be going for the Kit Kalos here.
Sending Crow. What did we hit? Fat lot of nothing is what we hit. Pass turn. You got to imagine that's like Sully something. All right, this is a pretty big opening for Alex. No shufflers in the graveyard. Only 1 possible. Our deck is way fatter than our opponents, and it is full of names and shufflers. Any mills that we can manage are going to be insane. We've got Rhino in grave. Our opponent's grave is full of
their Pearl Rhino.
Flat nothing, just a bunch of names that they no longer have access to. Yeah, we've got Pearl Rhino, we've got Scream. Just a question of navigating that back row, and we can get out of here. Check Shuffler's banished. We've got 1. We are doing Celiac in draw. Whoa.
Hey, are we doing that?
Targeting the
Oh.
Havness here.
We're just trying to get something on board. All right.
Yeah. It immediately becomes a problem if they hit a shuffler, which is like super high percentage. 17 cards, 4 shufflers remaining. Like the 3 off the Scream is going to probably do it. 3 off a Merly would probably do it. We can go Merly for Dragastapelia. What the hell did we just put back? Kit Kalos? Oh, we can go Kit Kalos into... Send a monster into Dragastapelia or Rhino Heart. But regardless, we're giving them a shot on the Scream. And we have to decide if we want to send to grave before the Scream resolves. So if we send to grave and they hit a shuffler, one of their 4 shufflers and 17 cards, we just lose on the spot.
Yeah.
This is... I don't really like this, but... I mean, I don't think there's another option. Oh, adding the Havness to hand, that could be telegraphing. Do we have Crime accounted for?
No.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
so that
we
could be
do.
telegraphing that, you know, we're just preying on this, this Havness. We did not hit a Miller.
No shufflers live in Alex's grave. That leaves this... I don't know. We have Sprite Elf to summon back the Merly. Rhino Heart's pretty good.
Rhino Heart's, you know, I mean, we all expected, I think, that Rhino Heart has to get checked somehow. But...
Yeah.
The Havness checking it here. Theoretically, this is pretty impressive. Havness is 3 and Merly is 3, which means we're guaranteed to hit names. That's our last one. Hit Celiac as well. We can thin the deck to a literal point of 0.
Sending Merly.
Go Merly. I wonder if that chases out the last Mudora. That's like, that is it.
Yeah. I mean, if you Mudora here, they've already used Dark, right?
They put it back.
They did, yeah.
They're letting it go. That's interesting. I would wonder if you would Mudora here, then, oh, we can't target Merly. There's no Merly in Grave. These 3 cards, 2 of them are Merleys. So do we have knowledge of the remainder of the deck? I think we do. It's 1 Rhino Heart unaccounted for.
They just added it to hand.
Oh, okay. Then it's 2 Merleys, and you would expect probably a second Albaz. That's devastating if that's the case. I mean, that's the end of the game. All we got to do is start looping Kaleido Heart. Yeah, there's just no way to manage this. We were probably supposed to Mudora the Merly, but it gets punished by literally anything, including the cards that are currently on the board. Yeah, there's no out for this.
Yeah. I think this one's over, and
they're not even bothering with the back row. Do we know what this is? This unknown?
no, I don't think we do. Yeah, this clears all 3.
Then we know they're drawing into, what? They put the 4th card back in deck. Does it shuffle it into the deck or put it on top? Shuffle it into?
Shuffles it.
So they're drawing either Merly or Albaz or the card that was just shuffled.
Now, what does Draw Albaz do? Let's think about that.
Draw Albaz isn't terrible. Holy shit, Lois. Oh my god. Well, now Draw Albaz kind of wins us the game. Oh no.
Oh my.
Oh, that better not be Sulliek. If that's Sulliek, we're dead. Oh, we're dead. Okay, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was still hot though.
We should have maybe waited.
Maybe.
Oh, we can't even use Albaz because this can't be fusion material.
Oh, right.
I'm always like, yeah, for TEARLAMENTs. It's like, no, for anything. It's got to be normal Merly, and then we hit Merly. There's the Rhino we knew about.
Yeah.
We send a Merly, and then we can get impermed and die. We can die in the hell.
Yep.
I wonder if there was an argument to not activating evenly there and just doing it on our own turn right now.
I feel like that. Yeah, because getting rid of the back row would have been so important. Then you could have had the Rhino Heart. Resolve it. But then what do you do after that? I don't know.
You make your own Kaleido Heart.
That's
We're just
true,
chilling.
yeah.
We're just chilling.
It's great.
Unnecessary. Is this lethal? Are we done?
15.
We are not done.
We're not done.
Card in hand is also evenly.
I was just going to
They're,
say.
they're on 1 Albaz and it's evenly. There's actually a branded fusion. No, that's like, is there a branded fusion unaccounted for? No.
No.
Oh! Okay, I'm gonna say.
Yeah. This last card.
Okay, we know that this is gonna be.
Oh.
What the
Oh.
fuck?
What?
Are we putting evenly back on top of our deck?
What are we doing here?
I'm in. Ready?
I mean,
Evenly
they're high
branded
rolling, I guess?
fusion Albaz. That's what we're putting.
If this Medora draw has the capacity to win the game.
It's a fucking 25%.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're putting back all names. We're drawing a fucking name for turn.
Yeah, okay. Draw planet would go crazy here.
Draw planet is not bad, not gonna lie.
Let me see it. Let me
All
see
right,
that
ready?
Royal
They're gonna
Planet.
reveal that they waited on the evenly match to do it right now. Nope, it's Merly.
Oh, it's Merly. Okay.
Well, it's guaranteed to hit some names. All right, that's an epic. Heartbeat?
No, it's not.
Heartbeat? Nope.
Nope. Okay, what a slobber knocker of a game one. Good God.
Oh, holy moly. That was literally game one. All right. DJ, run that shit back. I rip. That was wild. That was absolutely wild.
Yeah, that.
You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of the old CSMs that good old Mount Fuji would play. Because this exact same thing happened in those as well.
Hopefully.
That was a 40-minute game one, by the way.
You know, hopefully this format changes soon. I don't know if I'm down with the idea of the invitational for the MCS being this format. I don't know, maybe you are, but
I mean, we don't know if it will be this format, right?
Yeah.
Depends on when they announce the next format and the implementation date.
Yep.
If they announce it before it, like a week before it, and they implement it like at the end of the month, we'll probably just play under it.
That's fair. Unless you want it to be this format, then
It is skill testing. I just think that everyone would probably jump off a cliff.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if people are sick of this by that time. Because like I said, or like you said, it is extremely skill testing. But wow, these are. What have you been streaming for? 10 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. Can we play the invitational under no ban list, please? No.
What?
Absolutely
That sounds
not.
awful.
All right, what do we got? -1 going first, opening Pot of Prosperity again. So, theoretically, these games 2 and 3 should be faster, as both players now have access to a bunch of cards out of the sideboard that will simplify the game state particularly quickly. But who knows?
Could be here for a long one. All right, so
We've
we
already
got
been
Merly,
here for a long one.
Maxi, and Prime. Oh,
Yikes.
well, you could go for the Maxi to stop them from, to sort of incentivize them to stop pushing. But also the Crime, really good against those sideboarded going second tools. But you can also just search Crime.
We are thinking.
Okay, it is the Maxi.
Sometimes you see the best card in the game and you're like, should I? Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
And again, -1 I think has a 90%
What?
Pellerino open rate.
Is happening
If
here?
you have the
How?
Royal Pellerino, it just starts in your opening hand.
I am convinced. I'm so convinced that that's the case.
All right, we are sending Merly here. Yo, and
Yo.
yeah, we're playing a lot of stuff like this. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion coming down.
Yo.
I hope that's not the end of the turn. Do we have a Sheeran?
No way that's the end of the turn. Yeah,
Oh!
there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
2 1-ofs in the starting hand. You know it. My name's
calm
negative
down.
1.
Pellerino's a 2 of.
Oh, it's... That's you. Anyway, activating Sheeran here. Imagine we're going for Kikkalos. We saw that they didn't add the crime.
Kikkalos coming down. I expect we're going to see a Merly off this, given the current state of our board. Maybe we see like a Sheeran, and we just hope to get lucky off the 5 and make Dweller. I don't know. Like, Havness is the only name we haven't used this turn. I guess Rhino, obviously, but...
We could just search it here.
Havness?
Yeah.
Six,
Maybe
seven.
if we have other stuff in hand, we could just search the Havness, wait for next turn. Or to use it for their turn, rather.
No. Oh.
Oh.
This makes me think it is Sheeran.
Well.
It's a strange play. It feels like whatever you get, you would want to just summon it to the field with the Kikkalos, right? Maybe, yeah, you're getting a trap here instead.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And you want to be able to trigger Kikkalos without necessarily having anything in rotation. Oh my god.
What
Scream, Peldo, Mudora. Pretty good. Pretty decent.
This is the most rewarded I've ever seen for a play in the history of ever.
We're going to set 3 here. This is the end board. You're looking at it.
Yeah. Yep. Maxi's in hand. Oh my god.
Maxi,
Yeah.
Prime, Celiac, go.
Oh,
Good
this
luck,
is so
you
cool.
stinky dinky.
Yep.
All right, good start.
2 kings duking it out. I love how this board seems incredibly unassuming. You know, a normal summoned
19
monster,
interactions.
a field spell.
It's
2
19
sets.
interactions.
It does everything.
This is the problem, is now you get to a position where you're like, what do I want to do? Of course, there's a Halfness.
Oh!
And we are also going to Celiac.
Yeah, this feels really good. This feels very strong.
All right, let's get it twisted, baby. Here we go. Oh, another other named shuffler? Don't mind if I do. Oh, man, and
on.
Celiac with the crime set. That means we can get a name that we haven't used. It's kind of awkward if we don't have another name for Rhino Heart, which it looks like we don't. Like, a lot of our play relies on our opponent committing into, like, the crime. But they're going to have to do something.
I think it's hilarious that this is all in
All right, this shit is
response
getting
to
Mega Max Seed.
the normal summoned a monster. Yeah, you gotta max see this.
Minigame started. Minigame failed. Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop. All right, what are we hitting? Ooh, pitching Merly. And hitting a Shuffler and Scream and Pellerino. Uh-oh.
Hmm. So you've got a shuffler, you got 2 4s on board. You're gonna be able to search probably what? Probably what did you get here? Maybe crime?
That's a weird
No, you're
one.
going second.
You don't want to commit too hard and get washed by crime, which you know your opponent has.
Oh yeah, because crime can just get rid of the dweller.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of use to making dweller here. Well,
Looks
there's
like we
one of our
already used one of
shufflers.
our shufflers. That'll trade for the other shuffler as well.
Got like a gorillion of them, so we might as well use them. Guess you could just crime the Shuffler, but that does leave you sort of vulnerable to Dweller. Really thinking on it here. Oh. I will Shuffler your Shuffler.
You do what you have to. I don't know what to tell you.
No, yeah. I'm right there with you.
Putting back the Pellerino here. And we're going to let that go.
Yeah, pretty interesting that they didn't negate that. But how many Shufflers do we have left in Grave for
0.
-1? Yep, they all got put back. Okay.
Yeah, they got.
All right. We really do just need that crime for the potential Dweller, it seems like.
The Pellerino is really screwing things up too. Like, realistically, we should be able to go like Baguska attack, but we can't because it's too big. We could go like Redoer attack over CL, and then go Zeus, but Zeus doesn't even do anything here. It clears the crime and the Celiac, but like not in a way that matters. Yeah, we're just making Dweller. Oh, Dweller's at 22. Never mind, we're fine.
Yeah.
We just go combat here. All right. I wonder if it's worth making Zeus here. I think it's probably just better to get 2 turns of Dweller. Oh, look at that hand.
Oh my god.
Show me that extra. Show me that extra. Oh, they're drawing.
Probably worth it.
They said one of those cards lickety split. They said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Oh man. What an even game.
That was played so well. Even like the proactive use of the Shuffler to keep the Tears out of the graveyard at the same time as the unactivated Keldo, so we can't like Pellerino pop the Dweller at end step. There's just like so much going on in this matchup.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got? What are we leading with? We have like 15 cards because of Maxi. So we are going to normal a Sheeran and proceed to the battle phase and walk over the Dweller, and you know, then we've got a name and Celiac and crime, which is pretty good, to be honest.
You know what would be really good here? Branded Fusion.
I agree.
I think that would actually be quite strong in this position.
It's really funny to think of Branded Fusion not as like a way to increase the ceiling on your end board, but as a way to like do something under Dweller.
Yeah. That's actually quite smart. I think that might be why they've gotten up to the finals, is because if they get Dweller, they're like, okay, Branded Fusion. Now you deal with my Mirror Jade, idiot. Oh!
Terraforming. We shuffled back the Pellerino. We drew Terraforming for turn. Skill diff.
Now here's the bajillion-dollar question.
Do we crime this?
Crime this?
Yeah, we crime this for sure.
We have to, right?
Yeah, crime is so, like, this card is so insane.
Like, managing who has the Perlerino or Perlerino
depends
is
on what's
like,
in the hand, of course. Like, but if you can like discard a Shuffler, it's 1,000,000% crime.
You gotta crime this. You can't let this resolve. Yeah, okay, all right,
100%.
all right. I'm starting to like scream at my screen, like, no, please crime this.
All right, send
so
Mudora.
Frustrating.
Crow. It's pretty weak. But if they normal anything, we get to pop off with Celiac. There's something we can Celiac. All right, now we have to hope that our opponent doesn't have a Crime or a Celiac.
Oh, this...
Do we know that set card is Celiac? Because if so, obviously we can't Celiac this.
No, we don't know what that is.
They're letting it go.
Oh, they're letting it
Ooh,
go.
Massive hit. Holy shit.
Oh.
Shuffler plus Havness. No, -1.
Yeah, you got to be pretty frustrated if you're -1 right now. That is so tough.
Those are pretty good. Sometimes you get it twisted. I don't know what to say.
I'm curious as to why we didn't Celiac there. It's not like we already used it.
If we know that they searched the... Like, they may be paying more attention to it than us. If we know they searched the Celiac, then it's a terrible move. So we Celiac and they Celiac in response and just get to resolve everything.
Doesn't Celiac... Oh, no. Celiac doesn't tribute for cost.
Yeah, it's in for effect. That's the only way it works.
Yeah. Duh, that makes sense. Oh, that's so rough. Rhino Heart here. Or not Rhino, Kaleido Heart here.
Yeah, if we get to a position where we're just like Kaleido Heart looping Celiac, then the game just ends. And I think we have gotten there. I wonder if we hit Pellerino here. Like, obviously Celiac is the tasty choice, but like, eh. All right, you know, they're making us Celiac. Let's see it. This sucks. Maybe even let that resolve.
What seems rough is I'm curious as to why they discarded the Crow.
What else is in the hand? It's got to be like bangers.
Get rid of the Crow. Because if your assumption, I don't know whether you know it or don't, if your knowledge is that set card is Celiac, or you're playing as if that set card is Celiac, you need the Crow to hit whatever Merly mills as a fusion material.
Maybe you have 2 Crows, and you're waiting on the Rhino Heart activation.
I don't how.
I'm trying to draw up in my head what the hand is. So they were under Dweller last turn, so like it could be bangers that just suck ass under Dweller. What would that look like? It would be like maybe Rhino Heart, Sheeran, like 2 Sheeran instead of just the 1 Sheeran. But couldn't have been branded fusion. That would have banged.
Yeah, we would have played that like ASAP.
Also could just be like spells.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jeez, we are in such a bad position here. This is looking pretty rough.
Yeah. 0 monsters outside of Crow. Yeah, this chat's saying that's very much so. It could be the case. There's also an argument that they shouldn't have crimed the field spell. I mean, they would have gotten Sheeran at that point, but like, we're not turn players, so we could have won the Perlarino war.
Oh,
but
you
then
mean we could have popped Perlarino with Perlarino?
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have been able to resolve the Perlarino since we were playing as if that set card was Celiac.
And we also don't have access to a shuffler, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, we hit the snow off that, by the way. It may be a little Snover.
Yeah, it's Snover.
Oh, jeez. Maybe it's an Abiru in hand? I'm just like labbing out what could do it.
I don't know.
Tagging out for Havness here. That's when you know things are going really well.
Yep.
What do we hit? Nothing. Oh, we just get the Celiac here. All right. Adding another. I have no idea how you beat the Havness in hand from this position.
No, there's no way. I mean, you have a benefit to the fact that you have the Perlarino right now, but like...
Oh god, we have a Shuffler too. We can shuffle back our Dweller and end on Dweller plus Kaleido plus Havness in hand plus Celiac live on board with 2 targets. Like, it's just impossible.
Yeah, I think this is it.
We might just be flat out dead here. This might be a lethal amount of damage.
Yeah.
What's our graveyard looking like? 8. Can we just kill here?
You make Redoer.
You go like,
Right.
Snow Tuck, Havness Snow for Dark, Dark bring back their Sheeran, Sheeran for Redoer, Overlay for Redoer, Sheeran Effect, Kit Kalos and Sheeran. Is that lethal? That's 3k, 3k.
No.
It's a little off, yeah. 3k, 3k, 1850. That's 50 off. Oh my god.
Cowboy. Let's see it.
I mean, we're in a great position anyway.
Yeah.
All right,
so
let's
it's
see that
spell
Keldo.
cards.
Do it. Do it. Oh, we're making a different rank 4. We're just making Redoer.
Yeah.
All right. Had Sheeran already activated? Oh, yeah. Well, if that's the case, then we can't do shit. Redoer and standby. Can we get a trap card? Huh? Ooh, we'll take
Draw
a
one.
draw. We'll take a draw.
All right.
Good normal.
Not bad. Not bad.
Good start. We said the hand's probably crazy.
We're going for it now. Just to hit the shuffler right away. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Proactively hit the shuffler. We can target one of our monsters to trigger Pellerino, and then we can like eat the Sulliek to stop the negation, or the Redoer to force it out. Looks like a good start to me, King.
Yeah. This seems pretty good.
I don't know what the rest of the hand is. It's gonna have to be
It's
a banger.
gotta be something.
It's gonna have to beat Havness. They're going for it. Let's go.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot about that Havness in hand. Ugh.
I'm sorry about your object permanence, buddy.
I know it's not there right now. Watch too many tear mirrors.
Didn't hit anything.
Oh,
So now we get to trigger the Sheeran that we sent off the Redoer. CL1 Pellerino. I imagine we're targeting the fucking Sulliek.
We have to.
Let's go. We get to Kaleido Heart CL2 because we're not turn. Contest
Oh, so
the
that leaves
Pellerino.
Sulliek on board.
Then we go Sheeran. I imagine Sheeran's making Rukalos. I don't know how we win this.
I think it's done.
Okay, it was all a huge fucking bait, and then they go end of battle.
Yeah.
We started this game, probably not. Yeah. 2 branded fusions.
2 branded fusions.
Oh my god. Oh.
No.
Oh my god, they're the smartest motherfucker on the planet.
No. I mean, no shot. This.
Oh my
Oh
Hold.
my god.
We're drawing. We're like, no, taking them doesn't do shit. All right, come on.
2 branded fusions.
Okay, we lead
Okay, we're doing
Pellerino
that,
every
yep.
time. Yeah. We got to beat Snow and Grave, Rukalos on field, Sulliek on field. It could happen.
There is a world.
Havness, good start. I don't know what the Havness is. I guess the Havness contests the Rukalos. Sheeran. We're beginning with the Sheeran.
Okay, that's gonna resolve. There's no way they Rukalos this. Oh my god.
Maxi.
Shut up.
God, I hate
gotta-
Master Duel so much. Okay.
I hate it so fucking much. All right. You gotta win here.
So, there's no scenario in which we can get to Dweller Zeus, is there? No, because the Celiac always contests part of it.
Now, hold on.
Holy shit! This shuffle pop is a hard once, or it's a soft once.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
I'm
it's not.
thinking.
It's not. It's a hard once.
Oh,
thank
it's not?
God.
Okay. Oh my god.
I was gonna say, oh no, there's no way. Okay, Rukalos, negate. What, the Havness? All right, one down. Now we just got to get rid of the Celiac. We can do it. Come on. Normal a 4. We actually
Here's what I
led
wanna
normal Keldo. No!
Oh.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, man. You know, I wanted to believe, but realistically, that was an insane board. There's probably no winning it.
Yeah, yeah.
And congrats to Alex00000 for winning with the normal deck with Ishizu TEARLAMENT normal version.
Congratulations, MBT. Your tournament is real.
Oh, thank God. I will note, now that we can see the list, which you'll be able to see on www.ygoprodck.com by the time this is uploaded to YouTube, they were not playing a Guido main. They were boarding out of a Guido. They were boarding into a Guido against matchups that were not TEARLAMENT. This is a really, really smooth list. It's as consistent as it can be.